All right, and we're live. From where we left off. Upon the party's return to Sandpoint, they treat themselves to a well-deserved rest, and after cleaning themselves, the party ventured to the White Deer Tavern and Inn. Raptor finding himself a bit richer following a drinking contest with the dwarf. Tristan having a altercation with one of the Sandpoint town council members, while Kaj attempted to infiltrate the Thieves Guilds. After receiving word that the Thieves Guild would contact the party a little later on, the party returns to their townhouse for a night of well-deserved rest. The following morning, the light of the sun is just beginning to enter the room through the window. The birds are already beginning to sing their tune, and the night of fall rain has left the floor of the bedroom a bit wet and slick. Drips of water seeping through holes in the thatched roof. Despite the wool and fur blankets, the party finds themselves with a bit of a chill this morning. And then, at the front of the door, a knocking comes through.
Raptor, get the door.
It's that damn sheriff this early in the morning. I'll have words with him.
Get the door. I'm not, no, just get the door.
I flutter up to the door handle and turn the knob.
You turn the knob, and in front of you, as you expect it to be the sheriff, this early in the morning, you find a lengthy, handsome elf male standing in front of you.
Who's this then?
Anthar, would you like to give a further description of yourself?
No, that's perfect.
Okay.
Handsome and tall.
Handsome man.
Hello, friends. I don't know if you remember me, but it's been a while.
Tristan's gonna just wearily make his way to the front room and be like, Anthar?
Hey, Tristan.
Where the fuck have you been?
Yeah. My absence shall be told when time allows for it. As for now, a series of murders brings about my untimely return. Allowed me to explain. A beckoning call came to me as Shalelu uttered cries of a nightmare her best friend is now living. With a series of unmistakable tracks by the likes of unclipped paw prints with a lack of drag-tail etiquette, brutally forceful steps of a proud orc, intellectual footprints of a standing mouse, my apologies, a rat, carefully placed steps of ones I've encountered before, and gorilla feet in a nearby forest, along with descriptions matching those prints to visitors with Shalelu's newly widowed friend, lead me to believe you are all also seeking those responsible for what I regrettably saw in that forest. My newly appointed focus turns fully to those who have been innocently slaughtered by senseless beings from this land, which has undoubtedly brought great gratitude to our banding together to stop the unnecessary evils that lurk in its place. The poor unfortunate soul...
It's far too early in the morning for poetry. Just spit it out.
This poor unfortunate soul shall not die in vain. If my conclusions are to be true, I would be greatly honored to join by your side once again by those who have rightfully brought peace but for a moment once before these lands.
Oh my god, fucking helps.
Tristan, what in the hell is this man on about?
Okay, Anthar, what she said at the end. Next time, just say that at the beginning and leave out all the rest of the stuff. None of us have had breakfast yet, and I already feel like I need a drink.
You're right. I forgot how simplistic humans and other beings are.
Hey, watch it. You've been absent. You don't have the right to...
Simple-minded.
You've renounced your right to talk trash. You've been gone. You haven't put enough time here yet. Oh, by the way, this is Raptor. We kind of adopted him. He's kind of here now. He's kind of the thing now.
You're a lot taller than I presumed.
as no, Tristan, who the fuck is this?
He was here before you.
Okay, but then I was here before him, so I outrank him. Ain't that right, tall, pointy ears?
Tristan goes
whatever
to
you-
drink. Tristan immediately turns to the kitchen like, I'm not drunk enough to deal with this.
Roll a fortitude save then.
God damn it. I rolled an 18.
All right.
Plus 12, so there's no way I'm buzzing.
All right.
So,
It doesn't seem to
Anton-
have any effect so far.
Tristan just looks at his tankard like, how dare you betray me in my moment of need? Puts it down and then just looks over at Anthar and is like, so I'm guessing that's it that you... Yeah, so I'm guessing that you figured out everything that's happened lately, either Hemlock or whatever you're into, the trees spoke to you or whatever it was, and you're just aware of everything that's happening in town, and you need to join up.
I was thinking you guys were also trying to figure out who did these murders.
Oh, we are.
So
We're trying to figure it out.
I'll keep this simple for you. Simple-minded for you. Yeah, if you guys if you guys are trying to catch the murderers, I am willing to aid in that quest.
Yes, my poetic friend, we are attempting to find the murderer. No thanks to a certain absentee elf, but we won't talk about that.
You're right, we won't.
Anyway, we followed a lead to a abandoned manor. We investigated it with the sheriff. We shared all the findings with him. He was able to take away from that, but we've just been catching our breath before we make a move on there. So, I mean, fortuitous timing. Though you might want to take a load off. Make sure all your things are prepped. We might want to go around town, and it's a bit of a journey. So we might need to warm up the horses and then just prep. Kaj is off doing he's trying to get into the Thieves Guild. So he's doing some undercover sleuthing at the moment.
Wow. Yeah, I'm in some urgency to figure out who did this. But
Any particular reason why? I mean, I know we're invested. The sheriff came to us and asked for us as outside influences, but you've been gone a while. What brought you back?
Yeah.
Or is this not something you can speak up to a simple-minded folk?
Yeah, I don't know if you'd understand at the moment.
Tristan cracks his knuckles menacingly, like, watch it.
Tristan, we trust this guy? He seems very
Pretentious.
yeah, pretentious, and I don't know. It's peculiar that he just shows up here and claims to know everybody when I have no memory of him. Maybe you're under
Unfortunately-
his spell, Tristan. He's brainwashing you.
Unfortunately, the pretentiousness is par for the course with the elves. However, he's one of the good ones.
Well, very well then. Hello, my name is Raptor. And I flutter up to about stomach height and hold my hand out.
Nice to meet you.
I grab your finger and shake.
Now then, if you found out anything in your travels, what did you discover, or what brought you around?
Evidence kind of points towards Foxglove Manor. I don't know if you guys have run into the same kind of evidence, but
We did.
yeah. I'm sorry. Are you guys hungover or something?
Well, we were doing this
Always.
thing, Anthar. It's called work.
I don't remember you being so grimy.
Raptor?
I mean, look
Yes.
at this place. This place is pretty bad.
Well,
Raptor, bring it
see,
up to speed. I'm gonna get ready. Tristan turns on his heel and like muttering under his breath. Fucking pretentious elves. Fucking rolling in here on town like a bad no, baby, take me back. I'm back to above the ground now. Oh, I found the way to the manor. It's like you simple-minded folks got figured out a lead on you. Fuck up 20 years.
Well, if one thing hasn't changed, Tristan still does talk to himself quite a lot.
Tristan restrains the urge to throw something in that direction. I got you out of jail, pointy ears!
Raptor turns to Anthar. I like you. You make him angry.
One of you is going to be a splat on the floor after this one, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to be the elf.
He talks a big game.
Big talk for somebody who nearly got pinned to the wall like I hit like an insect to a card.
Well then, Tristan, less talking, more prepping. Let's go. We have a mission.
Tristan comes back to the room, smacks Raptor like a bug, then walks away.
All right, you actually want to hit him?
Legitimately, just like, yeah, sure. I'm just gonna stomp back in, go, and then walk back out.
All right,
Sold pat in the back.
all right.
Yeah,
Roll
well,
a unarmed attack, and Raptor roll a reflex save.
Good luck, Tristan. That's a nat 20. Get the fuck out of here.
So you got a natural
Starting the
20.
night strong, dude. Hell yeah.
I got a 22.
Okay, well, let me add my modifier then. It's big. Reflex, that's 14. That's a 34.
All right. So, at Tristan, you try to slap Raptor as he's standing upon the table. Raptor, with his quick, nimble reflexes, dodges out and is able to get out of the way of your hand. And do you want to do anything in addition to just jumping out, or do you just want to jump out, Raptor?
Or I'll just jump out and then look at him. Less talking, more prepping.
And Tristan, in your eye, all you saw was a flash. Flash and a blur. And somehow he went from underneath your hand to beside your hand, and you have no idea how a thing so small could be so quick.
Wow, Raptor. You managed to do something useful for once. Look at you managing to have self-defense skills. For once, you're not sabotaging yourself like you did at the brothel. I'm proud of you. This is progress.
All right, Tristan. Well, I will head on out to town and try and get some leads on this. As soon as you're done jerking yourself off, I'll meet you out there then, eh?
Oh, good. Oh, by the way, did you pay that money you owed to the widow? Right, you know, that money you owe for a brutal murder, something about excessive force.
Hey, Tristan.
You know, the widow who has the child, who you guys left to the cruel, you know, unforgiving situations of nature, you know, and the one you set up in just a horrible grisly display.
This is the same widow?
Probably.
Yeah, well,
Tristan walks off after that one. Doesn't even get
well,
to
I
grab
may
your
have
first
done
one.
this. You're the one that put the final arrow in his head. You know it. You know what you did.
Actually, Kaj did that one.
There, that was definitely Tristan.
I don't really use arrows.
No, it was 100% Tristan.
No, I think Tristan, he did fire. He definitely got at least one arrow in him. Although I think the final blow was, in fact, the gorilla smashing of the brain into the skull into the rock.
No. It was a gorilla smash from the sky, and then Tristan shot one arrow and pinned the dude's hand to the ground, and then immediately shot another one through his skull. And Kaj
that
just
it?
watched. Yeah.
Well, in either case, you guys were both very much involved.
One of us.
Don't play innocent here.
One of
You
us
know that
mutilated
widow
a
as much as I
corpse.
do.
I'm confused.
Anthar, what are you doing while you're hearing all this going down?
I'm just kind of disgusted as I look around their living quarters.
It is a bit grungy. It's a two-story townhouse, pretty simple in its accoutrements and design. Certainly seen better days. Could definitely do with a bit of a renovation, but is serving as shelter for the moment.
We're also very rarely here, so
The one change that could probably happen, that is like the most obvious upgrade that the house probably needs, is a new thatch roof. It looks like it's pretty well leaking, especially after last night's rain.
shit.
In fact, the floor is a tad bit slick and wet at the moment, and yeah, there's quite a bit of rain and puddles on the floor.
Yeah, I don't think inside pools are supposed to look like this.
They really aren't. All right, Tristan gears up, and he's gonna go look around Raptor's living quarters for a hot minute.
Okay.
Hey, what you doing in there?
Yeah, you're not here. You can't see this happening.
I don't like this.
You shouldn't.
So Tristan walks upstairs. Raptor and Anthar, what are you doing?
Just perusing about each cupboard.
Seems
Slamming it disappointingly.
it seems a tad Spartan in terms of foodstuffs, kind of the bare bones basics. It seems that the party hasn't really spent too much time in filling up the cupboards. It's mostly just rations, kind of bits of dried meat.
Non-perishables and booze.
Main expense seems to be booze. There's a fair number of bottles, both empty and full, lying about.
Much booze.
Raptor's gonna be bathing himself in one of these puddles that is in the living room floor.
Okay.
Just kind of putting his hands in the water and scrubbing his face down.
All right.
I actually wouldn't have thought of him to do that. Nice one.
And Tristan said we had to go to the bathhouse.
You're making this far too easy. So what do I see in his living quarters?
Well, let's see. You find his pack, and whatever is in his pack. Let's see.
What's in your pack, Raptor?
Let's find out.
So much poison.
Let me take a look.
So much poison.
Poison like beer, or poison like alcohol, or poison like poison?
Poison like the death dealing kind.
Okay. Arsenic, not alcohol.
Yeah, it seems that the main thing that you find, you kind of open his pack and you just see about something like 15 or 20 vials of kind of this greenish brown liquid, and every single one of them has a label, centipede venom on it. There's really not much else other than just a water skin and a couple of bits of food rations. The entire pack main compartment seems to be just filled with poison, 1 ounce poison vials, which is actually quite large for a little guy like Raptor. And you're just looking at this thing thinking, how did he fit all those vials in this tiny little pack?
I'm actually fairly impressed. I didn't think he had these kind of organizational skills. You learned
To be
something
clear,
about
the rest of the room is a fucking nightmare.
I'm going to look for the keg, the giant like gallon thing of distilled booze that he took as a gorilla. Oh wait.
Oh, the sheriff
Never got
confiscated that.
Yeah. Oh wait, we don't have that.
Nope.
Courtesy of Tristan.
If somebody was a better thief, maybe we would have it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Tristan. If somebody was a better thief and not a scene causer,
I mean, I think the scene was caused by a giant fucking orangutan jumping in the middle of the courtyard, but
I am a fucking silverback, mate.
an orangutan. Silverbacks are majestic creatures. You're an orangutan. Main thing.
Tristan, you done upstairs yet? Are you ready to go?
Almost. I still have to powder my nose.
Makes
That's
it much
dripping
more
sarcasm.
convenient to kiss ass then, eh?
I'm going to pin you to the wall. You know, Raptor, I always did want a dragon skin belt.
Joke's on you, there ain't enough of me to go around your large ass. Relatively speaking.
I mean, full credit for anatomical correctness?
Hurry the hell up! We have
I'm
an
gonna pocket his
adventure to
back.
go on.
Oh, what are you doing, Tristan?
I'm pocketing his back.
Okay. You managed to
So-
fit it. It's kind of bulging out of your pocket, but you can
I'll
fit it.
put
in
his pack in my pack.
Yeah, it's
put it
it's
back.
it's just small enough to fit in your pocket.
Yeah, but then he'd notice it. So I'm gonna put it in my pack.
All right. And
So this
since
is
Raptor's
my-
still downstairs, you can go ahead and do that without a stealth check.
This is
Wait. Then I
he
walk
has
out.
my daily adventuring pack.
This is your
not-
daily adventuring pack, yeah.
Okay, well. Okay, I figured I had my daily pack with me. I thought this was the Robin stash, the like secret bag that Robin can deliver that holds all my shit. But if that's my daily
No, this is your
pack,
adventuring pack.
Okay,
Got all
well,
your shit, nut.
Well then, Raptor's gonna realize that he's been giving Tristan shit about not being ready, and then recognize that Raptor himself is not ready, and go upstairs to grab his adventuring pack.
All right, what are you going to do when you find that there's no adventuring pack?
I'm already walking out.
Tristan, you sick fuck!
What are you talking about?
You want us to succeed here? You want to find the murderer, Anthar? Hey, big pointy. Do we want to find the murderers or not?
This is some kind of circus I've walked into. I think I could
Answer
find
the
help
question.
otherwise.
If we want to find the murderers, then tell this piece of shit to give me my stings back.
What's wrong? What happened to your things?
Raptor bites his tongue and then climbs up onto Tristan's shoulder and says, "All right then, have it your way. Let's go. Off on our adventure."
I lean towards Tristan. Is he always this forgetful?
Terribly so.
Oh, jeez.
I'm gonna just kind of brush him off my shoulder, not like flicking him off, but like, no, you don't get it now.
Ultramir, did you take my shit?
I thought,
Oh,
while our young forgetful friend retrieves his things, let's go to the town and see if we can't find any further leads other than the manor.
what did I
Finally.
what did I take?
Raptor lost his things.
You take them. Whole backpack. Very
Bring-
small. Obviously mine.
Raptor, you know I would never steal or take anything from anyone. No, of course not.
Well, we haven't had a whole lot of character bonding together, so I don't necessarily know that, but I'll take your word for it based
Actually-
on 23 prior episodes.
Well, now that you put it that way, that's a good point.
You know, we've gone through a whole entire character arc together. I think we can trust Ultraman.
You know, maybe.
I guess we're gonna. So I just briefly reiterate everything to Ultraman, be like, "Oh yeah, Anthar's here, by the way."
Antar, what's happening?
Not much. Let's go solve some murders.
Hell to the yes, let's go.
All
that
right.
simple
So
enough?
what do you, as you guys step out of the door of your townhouse, what do you do?
I'm on Utramir's shoulder now.
Tristan's just smug as shit.
Okay.
I think Raptor, I'm going to need to get you a miniature hat so that we can look we can look like little twins.
Oh my
I
god, and
suppose
get him a
that would be
little
fun.
sewing needle. Be adorable.
Yes, where to first? What have we? Yeah, who have we not gone to yet to try and solve these murders?
Well, the head of the academy is not exactly an option. He doesn't know anything. Or at least he knows about as much as anybody else on the council would know, which is about as much as we would know.
So about diddly.
I mean, we know that this all points back to the manor.
That's true. That's true.
Of the tips given to you by Sheriff Hemlock, the only, let me double check. The only lead you have not followed, excluding the manor, is speaking with Bordert Quink, a local historian and expert on Thessalonian lore.
Or we could go speak to Bordent Quink, a local historian and expert on Thessalonian lore.
Well said.
Sounds synonymous with haunted mansions. I like it.
That seems
It's not
like
in my language.
Tristan translates that into Elvish.
There you go, baby.
Do I speak Elvish?
I don't think
Yeah.
you
I
do.
don't know. Give it a
How we
try,
do?
and I'll let you know.
Yeah, I speak it. We're good.
I think historian is a good way to start the day.
I mean, if anything, we should be able to triangulate any similarities between the murders then and the murders now.
And haunted house is what I hear.
Indeed, it's a haunted manor.
Hauntings.
Though, I mean, 3 out of 4 of us are prepared.
Well, hauntings. Come on, I don't believe in such superstitions. I believe in. Well, now I believe in demons from other dimensions, creatures of great height and size that appear out of nowhere, witches, wizards. Oh, fuck it. There could very well be ghosts.
We fought hellhounds, but we fought specters before. What do you mean you don't?
While this conversation is taking place, Raptor's going to go ahead and whistle to summon Robin down and ask Robin to sniff out his centipede venom.
All right. Roll survival check for Robin.
Uh-oh. Robin's stats are garbo. Somehow shockingly good at stealth, but that's going to be a 7.
All right. Doesn't look like Robin's making too much progress. She's more interested, it seems, in the remnant bits of seed that seem to have found their way between the cobblestone of the road than seeking out your venom.
Oi, Robin! Someone stole my shit. We need to find it. And I hop
Raptor,
on Robin and start flying.
Are you following after us, or are you falling behind? We need you on our tail. We have work to do. Stop mucking about.
Tristan, as soon as I find my shit in your backpack, because I know it's there, I'll be sure to leave some poison for you.
I already told you I don't have it. I don't know what happened to your things. Maybe you need to keep a better eye on them.
Can I do a whatever check it is to see if he's lying to me?
Yeah, so Trist, actually roll a deception check.
23.
So, Cinco, you are oddly suspicious of Tristan. You can't quite put your finger on it, but you have a feeling that he's not telling you the full truth.
Alright, I'm gonna be on Robin and wait for a moment when Tristan seems occupied, and then I want to stealthily drop onto his backpack.
You know that my backpack is underneath my shield, right? My metal shield. That your bird will have to land on, making a sound.
I can drop from the air and flutter with a stealth modifier of 14.
All right. Go ahead and roll a stealth check. And Tristan, roll a perception check. Oh, actually, no. It would be passive perception for you.
Passive perception?
Yeah. So that's my side.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I think this would be a good time, though, that Utramir would jump in and try, not intentionally distract you, Tristan, but would be like, well, Tristan, I wonder, because I don't know I don't know if you, I don't think I know you have his stuff.
No,
So
he does.
I'd be like, well, you know, Tristan, I wonder if this could be the Thieves Guild again, those wily sons of bitches stealing our shit left and right.
It was a 28 for stealth.
Okay. You stealthily drop and flutter onto Tristan's shield, making an ever so light clank on the metal. And you are now at the precipice of his shield, looking over. You can see his collar in front of you and his backpack below you. What would you like to do?
Crawl into that fucking backpack.
All right. So as you stealthily crawl through the backpack, at the top of the pack, you notice very immediately a tiny little pack, little adventuring pack, about your size. In fact, you recognize it as your very own pack. And it looks like there's a vial kind of half sticking out of the top of it.
Oh, what a surprise. I must have misplaced it. I put my pack on and check my shit, make sure it's all in there, and then put my pack back on and climb back out and whistle to Robin. Robin whizzes by Tristan's head and I jump back on.
All right, you manage to grab the pack and just ever so slightly get out of Tristan's backpack, calling Robin to you, and manage to get on. Actually, roll a acrobatics check just to see if you F it up. It wouldn't be that hard, but
Hold on, am I going to perceive this?
you're still on passive perception right now.
Uh-oh, he definitely perceives it. It's a natural 1, baby.
Natural 1. So as you jump forward, you completely misjudge the distance and manage to start falling to the ground. You try to flutter.
Can I catch him?
You still don't notice that he's there. You just you hear kind of a flutter behind you, but right after the flutter begins, a thud. And you hear a tiny little voice behind you say, "Son of a bitch!" As Raptor begins to swear.
Are you okay down there?
Oi, carry on. Keep walking.
Tristan's gonna just kind of scoop him up or pick him up by a wing and just kind of... Like when you're picking up something that you don't necessarily want to hold by like a few fingers and you're just kind of like, okay.
Doth my elf ears deceive me? Is there a cry for help?
A minuscule, very pathetic wailing for help, I believe.
Some type of baby is crying for help.
Yes, some sort of infantile
Uchimir.
cry for aid.
Oh, I do not hear this baby. Raptor, do you hear a baby?
Now, Raptor, you're small. You would understand, the childlike cries.
While still super embarrassed by eating shit and then being made fun of by the entire party. Raptor just looks over to Uchimir. May I ride on your shoulder now?
Anytime, my friend. Anytime.
I thought he was independent. I thought he could
Thank
fly
you.
now. You know, his wings were a sign of manhood and adulthood.
Hey Tristan, also I found my backpack. I must have misplaced it.
Oh, fantastic! Where was it?
Don't act like you don't know, you son of a bitch.
I don't know. That's why I asked.
Are we gonna banter the whole fucking session, or are we gonna get a mission done?
We're doing it as we're walking.
Oh, you found it, Raptor. Where was it?
In Tristan's backpack, exactly where I believed it to be.
No. Are you sure that wasn't someone else's tiny little backpack?
Well, let's see. I start pulling out vials of poison. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this one's mine.
What was your pack doing in my backpack?
Roll a deception check. With disadvantage. With disadvantage.
Ah, fuck. Okay. So the first one was an 18 plus 9. Yeah, 9. Next one was a 17 plus 9.
Yeah, they're still finding it hard to believe, especially given all the physical evidence.
What? That I don't know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You're not being very convincing.
How would I have to roll in order to pull this one over?
Spinning around. Just
Clearly, someone didn't pay attention to the Thieves Guild.
Clearly, someone didn't pay attention to where they were putting their things.
Tristan, we all know you're lying. Shut the hell up.
I don't know. You tend to get drunk and put things anywhere. And
I
in
tend
my
to
honor
get
again,
drunk,
and I will
but
have.
not once have I ever misplaced anything
Mhm.
within canon.
You see what you missed, Anthar?
I don't know. I don't know why I'm taking this from a minuscule creature, barely the size of my foot, who is a known addict. Impugn my honor again, and we're
Alright,
gonna have to settle
that's
this on the
enough.
dueling field, or maybe the kitchen table since you're titchy.
That's enough, you guys. I don't know about you, but I'm heading to this historian to see what we can find out. And I just kind of just walk away.
Okay. All right. So after a little bit of time, you make your way through the town. The shops are kind of opening, have been pretty well opened up at this point. And you remember actually coming across this historian a little time before. A little bit of a quirky fella, elderly certainly, and he tends to spend most of his time at the kind of the edge of town, enjoying a lot of the historical sites of town. And that's, in fact, where you managed to find him. As you come up to this man, it looks like he's kind of toiling away, brushing some dirt away from an excavation site. And he notices your approach and kind of thumbs up his spectacles to try to get a good look at you. Oh, it's been some time since I've seen the lot of you around. Tell me, how have things been?
Oh, it's been good, my friend. We have, we've gone about our regular hero-like duties. We've done slayed some demons, saved fair maidens, all sorts of grand adventures.
Indeed. I did hear about your toils and tribulations. Though I've also heard around town, and this is only a bit of a rumor, heard that there was some discontent, a little bit of murder involved. Some people have come up missing, that sort of thing?
Right, you are, sir. We were just coming to you to talk with you about that, actually. See if you had any information for us.
Well, tell me this. What exactly have you found so far? Any peculiar markings or signs, carvings, and the like?
Just to make sure, we found the 8-sided. What? Or is it 8? 7-pointed.
Pointed star of Lameshtu.
That's right.
All right. So, what do you tell him?
The 7-pointed star of Lameshtu is shown up in all the murders so far.
7-pointed star of Lamashtu, you say? Very interesting. Though I must admit, a tad bit misguided on your part. 7-pointed star is a common enough symbol, but you attribute it to the wrong deity, I'm afraid.
Oh, interesting. What deity would that point to?
Well, that's a rather long and complicated story, but suffice it to say, some 7,000 or 8,000 years ago, there was a series of very powerful individuals, and 7 of them, in fact. And each one of them was a master wizard in their own right, in their various fields. Though, in the time since, they have mostly been lost to the common understanding. It's only those that study them, myself included, that really understand the true history of Thassalon and indeed its fall. Though not all would agree with me. There's a little bit of a disagreement of the understanding of the historical text, if you will.
What's the disagreement?
Well, it's commonly understood that each of the 7 represents one of the 7 deadly sins and one of the 7 heavenly virtues. The 7 deadly sins are commonly understood as being wrath,
Wrath, greed.
Envy, gluttony, greed, lust, pride, sloth, and wrath are generally understood as being the 7 deadly sins, though the disagreement with my fellow historians comes with the interpretation of the 7 heavenly virtues. Some of us think of them as being charity, temperance, generosity, love, humility, zeal, and kindness. That is the field that I find myself in, whereas other historians believe them to be wealth, fertility, honest pride, abhorrence, eager striving, righteous anger, and rest. Further, and perhaps the more interesting, is each of the 7 corresponds to a field of magic, one mastered by each of the 7 Runelords.
Runelords?
Indeed. Have you heard of them?
No, I'm a newcomer to this land, so a
Wow.
lot of the stories I know of people aren't exactly copacetic.
Well, I can't say that I'm too surprised. Most people haven't heard of them or think of them more as lore, more legend than history. I and my colleagues understand them as being true history, ancient rulers of this land, of ancient Thassalon, before its fall some 10,000 years ago. Each of the 7 rulers were a master of their own craft, wizards of their own rights, demigods, if you will, powerful beyond imagining, each coming to a precipice of each of the 7 magical schools.
Okay.
Abjuration, conjuration, divination, enchantment, evocation, illusion, necromancy, and transmutation. It's
Okay.
certainly a interesting field, though it is interesting to see the 7-pointed star coming up in such a way. Where exactly did you say you found the star?
Try every meta victim we encounter.
Well, that's
Just about.
and this is kind of when his enthusiasm in sharing his historic knowledge
Oh, boy.
kind of devolves and dilutes into a little bit of a nervous look, almost a foreboding of a realization of what might be occurring.
Oh.
You said that you found them on the victims.
Yes.
Wow.
I thought that was somewhat clear.
That is disconcerting, and certainly, though interesting nonetheless. I do recall a text I read many years ago. It included a ritual, an occult ritual that involved the carving of the 7-pointed star on victims before sacrificing them to the the translation was a little bit lucid. I'm not entirely sure if it meant spiritual being, God, or divine ruler. Ancient Thassalon is a difficult language to translate, but it had something to do with one of the Thessalonian rune wells, if I recall. A spiritual gate, a collection of sinful powers by one of the Thessalonian rulers, one of these grand and divine wizards of ancient Thassalon. It's interesting that someone would even attempt such a feat. It's not exactly an easy thing to attempt, as I understand them.
You mentioned them all being masters of their fields of wizardry.
Indeed.
What about necromancy?
Well, certainly there was one of the 7 that was a master of necromancy. But each one of them was a master of their own field.
It's just interesting. We encountered on our travels, there was a doctor attempting to experiment using the living dead. It was less akin to the undead as we know them, but still, I don't know. It was, if you say that they're all a master and these sacrifices could be attributed to 7, maybe it's something worth investigating.
An interesting find. And tell me, did any of these experiments have the star carved on their chest, like the other victims?
We weren't exactly at a position to analyze them.
Ah, I see. Unfortunate. That may have led somewhere, but
I had to pay rent.
it would be not inconceivable that a necromancer might be involved, certainly. Though, tell me, how did this individual seem particularly powerful, particularly skilled?
I mean, mid-tier? I mean, I don't know if me... I kind of tackled him and put him into a sleeper hold, but I think tackling someone and putting them into a sleeper hold would kind of bring low anyone.
Indeed, especially one of, well, your stature.
And then Anthony, you're not the only tall boy.
He's calling you fat, Tristan.
I don't think he said tall.
It is interesting, though. I would say it's more likely than not that the person that is engaging in these rituals is at least partially knowledgeable of Thessalonian lore, perhaps a scholar of his own right, or at least has some sort of knowledge of occult ritual, certainly. It is interesting, though. And he at this point, he kind of pulls out a notebook and starts to, like, scribe into this notebook. Very interesting. I should maybe look into that. He seems more interested in kind of where this might lead than anything. And tell me, is there anything else that you found that might be of interest?
Big claws, almost like a cat, but like a dog, kinda. Imagine if a person had intercourse with a wolf, and then the byproduct was able to walk. It was like that.
Can I actually kind of suss out his general demeanor? I mean, I know we can probably trust him, but he seems extremely interested, and I'm slightly suspicious.
Roll a perception check.
Okay. That is a 14 plus a 12, so 26.
He seems genuinely interested in particular, whatever you tell him, as kind of a interesting point to kind of think on later, being obviously being a scholar. Although his love seems to be more in the sharing of his wealth of knowledge more than anything. He just seems genuinely interested pleased that someone's taken an interest.
No darker motives, though.
None that you can perceive.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're probably fine then. I just kind of want to get it out of the way. Well,
but it is interesting. If you come across any other developments, any other evidence of ancient Thassalon, please come my way and we can discuss it in full.
all right. I think we
Do you
can
know
definitely
anything about the wolf people?
Oh yes, the wolf people. Well, in
It was a
my
were-rat, actually.
were-rat, you say? Interesting.
Well, we saw a were-rat, and we also saw footprints that didn't quite match the feet of the were-rat. So there's a couple weird hybrids going on here.
Interesting. Well, there's certainly many individuals that could fit that description. Elongated feet with claws. Anything else that you have? Any other evidence that you found that you might be able to go off of?
It's lashing, kind of claws that were the
Interesting,
murder
interesting.
weapon of the victims.
Anything else?
And rotten fish, reeked of rotten fish.
Rotten fish, you say? Now that is interesting. That does narrow it down a bit. Any other smells, senses that you could perceive?
Oh, there was definitely something else. Let me check my notebook real quick.
Can write.
Yeah, it's canon that Raptor can write. He, however, cannot read.
I would have thought that one was a prerequisite to the other, but okay.
Yeah, one would think.
Very
Nope,
well
that's all I wrote down.
Rotten fish, you say? Now that is interesting. Now, tell me, the origin of the rotten fish, was that from the entire room, or any particular locations?
We found it centrally located on. Well, the first time we encountered it was the sawmill. It was attached to an axe.
An axe. Anything else that stood out from the axe that made it seem interesting, out of place, anything like that?
I mean, it was in a sawmill, so I mean, you would have an axe there, but generally a sawmill with a blade is, you're not going to have tools there for splitting because the logs are already going to be, processed.
Anything else on the axe? It just smelled of rotten fish.
Well, I mean, there
Nothing
was
else.
bristle and gore. It'd been used.
On the handle or on the blade?
Bristle and gore was on the blade, but there was some slime on the handle, I believe.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Well, this could be all manner of things, but a were-rat seems unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
A werewolf seems even less likely. Seems to me, especially given the interaction with your necromancer friend, seems like you might be dealing with a fiend of some sort. Devilish creature, perhaps infected dead, zombies, undead, ghouls and goblins, and the like.
Fantastic.
Are you sure it couldn't be something more pleasant like a human wolf?
Yeah, well, there's always that possibility. Science is has an evolving nature of it. Though, given the evidence that you have collected thus far, it seems significantly more likely of something other than a wolf, I would say. Something a bit more arcane, devilish in its nature.
Oh boy.
Well, I didn't like that even a little bit.
So we got devils, Runelords, demons.
Oh my.
All right. Sorry, that got me good.
We're off to see the wizard.
A wonderful wizard of death.
Tell us anything about Thessalonian Divine Gate. Is there a way to, or I guess, has anyone found a way to pass through?
Pass through the rune well?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm assuming that's not very common.
well, there's only been a couple of known sightings of rune wells scoured around Thassalon. They were areas where the various ruling powers, these powerful wizards of ancient Thassalon, could store some of their power, if you will. Think of it as a place where they could recharge themselves, almost reinvigorate themselves with the various arcane arts of their school. As far as opening one, that would be a challenge, I would imagine. I don't know of anyone that's achieved such a feat, and certainly I don't know that it would be something that anyone would want to achieve. You have to understand, these powerful wizards of ancient Thassalon were certainly relentless in their rule, almost tyrannical, if you will. They each controlled the fief of ancient Thassalon, and they ruled with an iron fist, as we understand it today. In fact, we have some evidence that they may have even warred amongst themselves. The This, for example, and he points towards the old light, kind of an ancient-looking construction made of stone, overgrown with moss, and almost half buried by the sea. This structure, in fact, it is my theory that this was a ancient weapon used by the Thessalonians. This one in particular, more likely than not, at least as I understand it, could have spit fire for leagues around and engulfing entire armies in its wake. Though the evidence is sparse at best.
Raptor's gonna walk over to that thing and climb up on it and just start hitting it in various locations.
Okay. As you climb up and kind of hit against the stone, it seems to be ordinary stone with overgrown moss. And it just seems to be maybe particularly ancient, but certainly old masonry.
Yeah, I don't know about that, Doctor. Doesn't seem to turn on.
And did you study Thessalons for the last 60 years? I think not.
My good man.
60? You're 60 years old?
I happen to be 112.
Oh, that's exactly 100 more than me! Wow!
Tristan looks to the scholar and is like, I apologize. Don't mind him. He can't even read. So
160 is not that much. I mean, you're basically a teen at that point.
The scholar looks at Anthar and with kind of like a squint of, come on now.
Oh, right. That's
He
right.
kind of looks at you and it says, well, we can't all be elves now, can we? I happen to start my morning with a juice cleanse, and that is why I am as old as I am.
Oh, okay.
It really clears out the bowels.
It's got prunes and more prunes.
Oh, would you like some?
Brother,
And
we can
he,
learn from
and he
this
takes
man
out a vial and hands it to
dietary habits.
Utramir.
I would love some.
Oh, I've heard of this. It's Miracle Relax, yes? Sometimes...
It's a miracle, and it relaxes you, so yes.
Yes, the Miralax, yes!
Bottoms up.
Utramir, as you kind of take a drink, it is probably the most bitter, foul thing you've ever tasted, but it has kind of a bit of a sweet aftertaste. But you immediately are kind of feel a quivering in your stomach, and you kind of have that feeling like, oh no, where's the closest bathroom?
Do you have a bathroom?
I'm afraid the closest bathroom is back in town.
Ultraman, just find a nice bush.
I know, you're right by the ocean there.
That's true. Stop a squat, man. Kill some fish.
I know that I'm fucking insane, but there's people dying right now, and Utramir's shitting his brains out. What are we doing, team?
Oh my god!
I have a feeling I came to the wrong place.
How do you think I felt? I had to be in charge of managing this chaos.
And I'm glad you're here. I was getting tired of being the sane one.
Tristan might kill Raptor by the end of this session. He might die. You have been warned.
Is there anything else you can tell us then, other than wizards and old people and portals and the demon fiends?
You mentioned that the portals are a place to recharge. Is that all they're capable of doing?
Well, the historical evidence is somewhat Spartan.
What would you presume, given your own analysis?
In my opinion, yes, they were something akin to that. A place to draw upon for further strength. Though I have only limited evidence to back that up. I will tell you this, however. In your travels, keep a particular eye out for interesting monuments and ruins upon the land. This area in particular is scattered with various kind of ruined structures that were once prominent in ancient Thassalon. The Old Light, for example, any rune wells that you might have found. Statues in particular were important to the Thessalonians as a presumption of power and influence. They may be of interest, and I've even heard of some treasure hunters seeking them out, hoping to find interesting artifacts.
And these are all over, not just Sandpoint, I assume, but...
Oh, certainly not. Sandpoint is only a blip on the map, if you will. Thassalon was...
Very
well,
pretty map.
it stretched as far as the seas on which we stand to 1,000 leagues east of here, and 1,000 leagues north, and 1,000 leagues south.
Bag
So-
center.
Can I roll a lore check?
I'm getting a very Rome vibe here.
Yeah, Anthar, you can roll a lore check. Roll a straight lore. Although, if you want to, you have warfare. You could roll, if you want to roll warfare on... Oh, you have that too? Yeah. You can roll specifically on warfare lore to see if you can learn anything, or know anything more about Thessalonian warfare.
Can I do it both?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do it too.
First
All
one
right, so we'll
for-
start with the warfare.
Okay.
So both of you roll a warfare lore.
I think I have a 1 in just lore, so I have a 17.
I have a 29.
Damn!
All right. Let me check one thing. Quick. All right. So you both, let's see. Tristan, what was your lore check again?
17.
17. Okay, so you pretty much know about as much as the scholar told you.
Mm-hmm.
However, Anthar, you understand that the you recall in your studies that 2 Runelords in particular were known for warfare in this particular area of ancient Thassalon, or the area you now stand that was once ancient Thassalon. Runelord Karzog, who was known for building stone statues of himself hundreds of feet in the air that often spat... And as well as Runelord Alzarist, who was known for building massive watchtowers, which were known for spitting fire leagues in every direction. You recall that there was a bit of a war between these 2 Runelords that ended up being predominantly a stalemate for hundreds and hundreds of years as the two ruled over their respective domains. The area that you currently find yourself was predominantly ruled by Runelord Alzarist, the Runelord of Wrath.
Oh dear.
I convey this information to party members.
Oh dear.
Indeed, you are a scholar as well, my young elfin friend. The scholar seems very enthralled in what you just said, and recognizes you as being a very knowledgeable individual.
I wouldn't say that.
He's just being modest.
Quite modest.
Anthor has more knowledge about any of this kind of stuff than I have in my pinky. Come on, this guy's got a library of knowledge.
No.
Very, very, very. He's a traveling wise man. I mean,
Okay.
Odin, who?
I met him this morning, and he's the smartest man I know.
For once, I'm not taking that as an insult.
It's not true.
Maybe you two should hang out over tea and talk about history together.
Oh my goodness, yes. I mean, you must know many things over your centuries of experience.
Oh man, do I not?
You know, Anthor, I'm pretty sure you could write a book on this sort of stuff, right?
Of course. He has to be able to.
I do know how to write and read.
Like I said, smartest man I know.
I don't know if that's saying much.
Raptor, both Outremer and I also know how to read and write.
Well, I've never seen it, so I think that's a lie.
I will say this, in addition to all else that I've said. There is a few relics that you may come across in your travels. Pendants and rings and books and the like that depict the seven-pointed star.
Mm-hmm.
They certainly can be exceedingly powerful magical items that can have a very obvious magical effect and then some less obvious magical effects, both good and bad. Unfortunately, the historical record is a bit vague. Translating between 3 different languages of 1,000 that spans back 10,000 years is not an easy thing, especially given that most writings haven't survived since then, if they weren't translated.
About to say the same thing.
But should you find any artifacts that depict the seven-pointed star, consider them both a blessing and also be a fair wary of them as well. They...
Okay.
No, if only our rat friend was here too, so he could. I think he has a star connected to him as well, does he not? Am I wrong about this?
Does he now? Tell me more.
Well, I would have to just 1 second.
Oh my god.
Remember?
So
He does have a 7-pointed star connected to him.
Does
Does
he
he?
now? In what way?
Tattoo, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right, Antar.
A tattoo?
It's more of a, I think, like a scar.
Scar. A carving?
Yeah.
On the chest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed, very interesting. Well, it seems that fate is a destructive mistress in this regard.
Is she? How so?
Well, it seems that your friend has the same carving as some of the victims, if I understand correctly.
Oh.
And perhaps he was even a part of the occult ritual that may have been attempted by whoever it was that committed these heinous acts. You may inquire into his past a bit more. See if you can find out any more from your friend. It could prove useful.
Absolutely.
I suppose.
We will have to, once he makes his return, we'll have to ask him this.
It seems that he has some sort of a tie, in particular, to what's going on here. It's interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yes, the tie is his brother.
Why do we take you anywhere? Honestly.
Because Raptor says what I think.
Yeah, but you're actually useful to the party.
Plus Raptor is the cutest member of the group.
Damn right.
Future man, don't encourage. Don't.
Good sir. Then is there anything else? I will be honest. I am relying heavily on my friends here to understand everything you've just said. I got about 8 of the words. I got demons and fiends and all the other scary shit you said we could look forward to, and that was about it. But is there anything else?
Well, nothing comes to mind, although I will certainly reference my personal library and see if I find anything else that would be of interest to you regarding Thessalonian lore and its histories. And the next time you're in Sandpoint, perhaps I'll have a little bit something extra for you.
Very well then. Thank you.
If you'll excuse us, we have to go see about the haunted house.
Haunted house, you say? Well, be wary. I don't know that I would want to step in the haunted house without a fair amount of provisions. That seems like a very precarious position to find yourself.
We're going to go shopping, and then we're going to go see about a haunted house.
Do you have any recommendations, sir, about things we could take with us to dispel ghosts and goblins and whatever such demons we find?
Well, that entirely depends on the ghosts and goblins, as you put them, that might be haunting said house. Though you can't go wrong with holy water when dealing with demons and the like. Always useful item to have around. And then healing potions are never a bad thing to have either.
I don't know if this makes much of a difference, but it wasn't an engraving on our friend, but rather a medallion he carries.
That's it.
Medallion, you say? Very interesting.
Often
Often...
it's cursed.
I'm sorry?
Ooh. He refers to it as a cursed medallion.
Curse? Well, that does make some sense. I recall reading about particular Sihedron medallions that bore the 7-pointed star that would often be handed off to various sergeants and lieutenants of the Runelords, bestowing powerful blessings, but also tying them to the Runelords themselves. It's interesting that your friend would have such a pendant. I could be nothing, but could be something a little bit worth looking into and asking about.
It does come from like a cultist group.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I don't know if you know of any groups that currently exist.
Well, now that you mention it, I have heard rumors of a group down in Magnamar. What do they refer to themselves as? Sinsaw? Skinsaw? Something of the like. Academics were a bit peculiar. We recognize this, and some of my colleagues have, perhaps in poor judgment, have sought knowledge in untimely and poor company, if you understand me correctly. Don't want to look poorly on my colleagues, but a few of them sought knowledge with the Skinsaw, or perhaps it was the Sinsaw group.
Mm-hmm.
If you find yourself in Magnamar, they're either one that you'd like to seek out or stay far away from.
Do you think that they would potentially be connected to these murders, or are they known to be violent?
They're generally known as a secretive group, secret society, if you will.
Mm.
So, my knowledge of them is somewhat limited, though if reputation precedes them, perhaps.
Of course, not to point fingers until we gather more information, but it sounds like potentially that they could be involved with what's happening.
It's certainly a possibility. Sandpoint and Magnamar have close ties with each other, and it's not outside the realm of scientific possibility, certainly.
And do you believe the old light here in Sandpoint is one of those rune wells?
Oh, a rune well? No, I find that to be unlikely. Though I do believe that it was a ancient monument of ancient Thassalon. A weapon, certainly, a citadel of power. Area where Runelord Azilris solidified her power within the area.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Though, not to worry, they were largely extinguished, the Runelords, some 9,000 years ago during the Great Earthfall, great cataclysm of that age. Destroyed much of the land and left the area predominantly unruled for many an age. So it's unlikely that the Runelords are long dead by now.
I would hope
That's
so.
the best news you've said.
I don't fancy having to fight those.
No. They are more of gods than wizards, or they were. But not to worry, they're long gone now.
Which is
Although-
quite peculiar because I received a Google Doc titled "Rise of the Runes."
What is this? What's a Google Doc?
Hey, was I talking? Sorry, it happens
Raptor, are you
sometimes.
high again?
Yes, I wish. No. Maybe.
Baby.
I am glad they're dead. They sound like a not fun group of people to ever have to interact with, and I very much look forward to never having to interact with them.
If I mean, they are dead, right? They are not.
Well, yes, certainly. No one's seen or even heard a whiff of the Runelords in the last 9,000 years since the Great Earthfall. A series of earthquakes, tsunamis, and asteroids that pummeled the face and destroyed much of ancient Thassalon. In fact, that was the Great Fall of ancient Thassalon. And no, since then, following the Age of Darkness, that was kind of a series of a nuclear winter, if you will. Quite a dark age in this area of the world. Nothing could have survived that, certainly.
Thank goodness.
Do you happen to know the name Foxglove?
Foxglove. Indeed, I do. A noble family in town. At least they used to be. There's they have a place out in Magnamar, and they also have a manor outside of town known as the Foxglove Manor.
Yeah, there's a haunted one.
And we're gonna... Let's see. I'll do this... I had this one bit planned out. We'll do it slightly differently than I had it planned out, but...
Okay.
See how this goes. Since you're asking probably the most knowledgeable guy in town... about
That
these sorts of
insider
things.
information.
Let me check. Well, let's see how much he actually knows. Okay, he knows a lot.
Yes.
Okay, so bear with me, because he knows a lot about the Foxgloves. So just bear with me here.
All right.
Foxglove Manor is over 80 years old. It has been the seat of the Foxglove family for the whole time. Some sort of tragedy struck the family a few decades ago, and no one has lived there since. Common rumor holds that this place is haunted. The Foxglove Manor is known as the Misgivings by some locals, particularly by Veritians. It certainly has a bad reputation. Sightings of strange lights in the attic windows, muffled sounds of screams from above the window, and even rumors of a huge bat-winged devil living in the caves below the manor are a few of the tales about this place. The Foxglove family lived there as recently as 2 decades ago, and then a fire burned down the servants' quarters. Cyril Foxglove was found dead, burnt and dashed on the rocks below the cliffs of the house, and Trevor Foxglove was found in his bedroom, dead by his own hand. The children, including young Aldrin Foxglove, were sent away and raised by Crovotia and by distant relatives. Adrian Foxglove recently returned to live in the manor, but had a hell of a time hiring locals to aid him in the reconstruction and repair of the old building, until Aldrin moved back. This place was cared for by a man named Rogus Crosby, a retired innkeeper who has lost an ear in a bar fight many years ago, who came in 3-day blah blah blah. You don't need to hear that. Foxglove Manor was built decades ago by Varel Foxglove, a merchant prince from Magnamar. He and his family lived there for 20 years. The entire family perished from a disease. The surviving Foxgloves of Magnamar shunned from this place for 40 years until Traver Foxglove moved in. The Foxgloves have traditionally been associated with the Brothers of the Seven, a secretive gentlemen's club based in Magnamar and consisting of merchants or thieves, depending on whom you talk to. Members of the society periodically visited Foxglove Manor at night during the years the manor went unlived in, perhaps to check in on the building and make minor repairs, or perhaps for more sinister pursuits. He's a very knowledgeable guy, this guy.
Wow.
Okay, so hear me out, team. What if we tell all of this to the sheriff and we let him go in there and figure it out? We saw him take on that rat. He can do it. He can do this by himself. We do not need to go into this place, and then we can break into the evidence locker, take all the loot. Done deal. Mission accomplished.
Raptor, we're going to the manor, and we're fighting whatever's in there.
This is our...
I will need to grab a spare change of pants while we are in town.
A brown pair of pants?
Luckily, I have a pair of brown pants myself.
It wouldn't be a bad idea to seek more help from the sheriff.
Mm-hmm.
And we're definitely going to have to resupply and at least maybe find some holy oil, water. Holy oil. What is this, The Witcher?
Snake oil.
I was just thinking, right? We need like jugs of water to just like say, hey, Father Xanthus, can you just bless all of this, please? Because we may just need like spill this all over this house. Soak it.
I mean, talking away from the character, I know where we can get plenty of something that acts like holy water, but in character, we have no idea.
We could, in fact, it might be a good idea to go talk to Father Xanthus, see if he can help us.
I mean, I think we should probably divide and conquer. We've tarried here long, and we're going to lose daylight if we don't. Sort of divide and conquer. Do you? I mean, Raptor apparently found his pack, so I guess he's moderately ready. So, I mean, do we need? I mean, are we going to need to? We're going to need to go into town and pick up supplies, and we can see if Father Xanthus has any holy water he can spare on the way out. I mean, see if we can't pick up any bandage, anything that we could need, and then reconvene at the church and see if we can't get some holy water.
I think it's a great idea.
Right, let's head to the general store.
All right, and then I think just
hold back for just a second after the group leaves.
okay. I think in the interest of speeding things up, you can just go ahead and buy whatever it is that you want to buy, goods and otherwise, without having to actually talk to the
Shopkeep.
shopkeep. Yeah, and I'll go ahead and say we can run through interaction with Father Xanthus if you want.
Cool.
Sure.
I'm just gonna buy a shit ton of bandages.
With this historian, as the group's walking away, Raptor's gonna go up to him and ask him, "This is a bit of a personal request, completely unrelated to everything that we've talked about, but if you happen to know anything or find anything regarding the tooth of an ancient dragon, would you let me know?"
Tooth of an ancient dragon, you say? Very curious. Any particular dragon? There are many dragons, and quite a few of them ancient.
A noose redosa.
A noose redosa. And he takes a
Probably
note.
looked a lot like me, but bigger.
Hmm.
Doesn't have to be now, but when we see you again, if you find anything, please do let me know.
Holy shit, is Raptor doing something coherent to plot?
You're goddamn right. He
While
is.
he stepped outside, because hell must have frozen over.
I'll leave.
Indeed, I'll consult my text, see if there's any reference to the. What was the dragon's name again?
Elusridasa.
Elusridasa. Very interesting. I'll have to consult my Fey text for this one.
Yes, that would be wonderful. I can pay you. I can give you drugs, whatever you want. It would be great.
Payment is not necessary. Knowledge is its own reward.
Oh, you're very kind, sir. Thank you.
Plus, I have all the drugs I need.
I took you for a drug man. Well then, have a good day, and thank you for your help on my quest and the rest with the demons and whatnot.
Indeed.
Bye now.
All right, and so what? Who's going to talk to Father Xantus?
I'll do it.
Oh, sorry. We you don't have to if you don't want to. Austin and I raised our hands. We just said,
Okay.
but we were just we raised our
Wait,
hands.
you're leaving me alone with the raptor.
Raptor is not going to be alone with Tristan right now.
We are
I
going to
will go
we will
wherever
fight.
Tristan is not.
Yeah, you do realize that Raptor insulted Tristan's honor. Tristan, the knight.
You
Hey,
know.
come here. Maybe they'll just follow us.
Lead by example, right? And
So
literally,
they can't stand each other.
Tristan's going to look at Raptor as soon as they're away and be like, so, about this accusation of theft.
Oh, we're not together. We are not in the same place. Raptor's gonna take to Robin and just go to the general store and fuck off for a while.
Tristan's just going to walk on over the general store like a normal individual.
All right. So you make your way.
Over dramatic ass.
All right, so you can make your way to the general store and pretty much buy just about anything off of the adventuring gear set from the general store, and then if you're looking for anything in particular, you could probably find it within reason. What is it? Is there anything in particular you guys are looking for?
Really just looking for bandages and health potions and maybe anything that I could use to ward undead.
So I haven't really figured out what the bandage of healing going price is going to be, but there's certainly plenty of potions of healing.
Girl. I'm gonna examine those.
Okay. Let's see. Let me. So, are you looking? So the potions of healing, there's minor, lesser, moderate. Those are probably the ones that you can. Yeah.
I'll look at the minor and the lesser.
So the minor gives you 1d8 HP. The lesser gives you 2d8 plus 5 HP, and the moderate gives you 3d8 plus 10 HP. Though the going cost of those is 4 gold, 12 gold, and 50 gold, respectively.
Holy shit.
damn.
What was the minor one again?
Minor is 1d8 HP. It goes for 4 gold pieces.
It's just one straight D8.
Yeah, 1d8 for 4 gold pieces.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the lesser is 12 gold pieces, but it gives you 2d8 plus 5. The nice thing about these is it's just a single 1 ounce vial. It takes one action, drink it, and you get the HP. You also might consider crafting some of the homebrew stuff.
Well, yeah.
Well, someone that's a bit more attuned to medicine checks.
Definitely not this guy.
I was going to grab just two. I'll take 2 minor ones just Just to have my minor. Nah, I'll take 2 of the lesser ones. Just to have like emergency, like I need to fucking handle this. There you go. That's 8 gold, yeah?
That's right.
Cool.
All right, what's everyone else doing?
Let's go talk to Father Xantus. See about that. See about some holy water.
Any other purchase? I want to get the purchases
Oh.
done first.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, if anybody has a medical knowledge, go ahead and stock up your stuff.
Yeah, I do, but I don't know what to buy really.
So, if you're looking for,
I have a healer's kit already.
okay, so Anthar, I probably recommend you make a couple of bandages of healing. They're nice to have around.
Okay.
For that, you'll need cornflour, cloth strips, and some pine sap. They're pretty damn cheap. You can get enough for about 3. You can get 3 bandages, enough ingredients for 3 bandages for just a silver piece.
Can I do that like 10 times?
You can, however, it takes you an hour to make a bandage of healing,
Oh, shoot.
and you have to roll for it. You have to roll a medicine check for it. See if you can make it correctly, or a craft. Is it a craft check? It's a craft check.
I mean, if you want to do that 10 times, I'll also throw you some silver and buy you more.
It's the bottleneck really is not the silver. It's kind of intended to be cheap to make, but it does take time to make. So 1 bandage of healing is going to take you about an hour to make it properly. But you can also, it also goes up in level. So there's a minor, lesser, and a moderate, which you can make. The minor bandage of healing gives you 1d8 HP. It's the same as a potion of healing. Lesser gives you 2d8 plus 5, same as a potion of healing. The moderate is 3d8 plus 10, same as its equivalent of potion of healing. The only downside to it is, in order to use it, you have to roll a medicine check to use it, and it takes 2 actions to use, instead of just drink a potion. So it's ups and downs, double-edged sword. Cheap to make, easy to make, kind of hard to use.
Like Bruce Willis.
Hey. We're gonna go to Sandpoint, have a few laughs.
Why don't I just like stock up for now, and then I can craft them at a later point? Like,
Okay.
not
How
the
much would
same
you like?
time, but, I'll just hand in a gold piece for 10.
So a gold piece will get you... That'll get you about 30... about 30 batches worth of raw materials for bandages of healing.
Cool.
So you have enough ingredients for about 30 bandages of healing, so then all you have to do is roll the medicine check and actually craft it at that point.
Okay.
So put in your inventory 30 cornflour, 30 cloth strips, and 30 pine saps.
Have we any experience with the Feathered Serpent, the magic items shop in town?
You know, I don't think so.
Can I go there instead of the general goods store?
Why am
Okay.
I suddenly concerned?
Okay. Let me check.
Why do I fear for my safety?
I'm very interested because honestly, I almost forgot that there is a like magic store in town. I don't know what they sell.
Hopefully things for ghosts.
Right? If we get a Ghostbusters style like gear or something from there, can we get the?
I don't think they're gonna have that weird vacuum thing.
Can we have the?
We have a very small vacuum for ghosts.
You got a couple of proton packs, and a ghost
Yeah.
capturing device.
Oh my god.
Luigi's Luigi's mansion.
Yeah, his kit and caboodle.
All right. So as you walk to the Feather Serpent, the local magic shop in town, it seems to be a pretty unremarkable store from the outside. But as you walk in, you are awaft with the scent of incense kind of fills your nostril. And you see an individual that is manning the counter. And he's kind of a dark complexion individual with kind of this bright red hair tied into a ponytail with a very, very waxy mustache and goatee. Oh, oui, monsieur. Is there anything that I can help you with?
Yes.
Oh, yes, there is. I'm looking for small things for ghosts. Small as in my size and ghosts as in the bad kind.
Small things for ghosts. Did you have anything in particular that you were looking for?
Yes, like to kill.
Like to
God
kill.
damn it, you got me doing French now.
God, I'm happy I'm not here right now.
I thought maybe
Well,
right away you were gonna do that rapture go with the French accent.
well, for a man of your stature, it's maybe a bit of a challenge to ensure an adequate magical weapon for one of your disposition. But I shall see what I have in stock. Wait a moment.
It needs to be good for ghosts.
Good for
If not, I
ghosts.
don't want it. I have ghosts in my house. I need them gone.
Well, I do have a very interesting weapon that may be of interest. It's a bit more of a dagger for most individuals, but for you, it will serve nicely as a one-handed sword. It also has a nice engraving on the side that would allow nicely for a invocation, an inclusion of, say, holy water. Instead of simply wiping the holy water on your blade and getting a single strike on your enemy, you will instead get a second strike. Very, very useful against ghosts and demons and such things, especially if you have some holy water in your supply.
Okay, I hear you, and 2 is better than 1, but can you do better than 2? Because there's a lot of ghosts in my house. There's a lot.
Nah, do you live in a haunted mansion by any chance?
That's exactly where I live, yes, and there are ghosts fucking everywhere. Demons too.
Ay, she danza.
I assure you, if you give me something that allows me to survive returning to my home, then I will come back and provide further business.
Oh god.
Wait a moment, sir. I will see what I have in stock.
See, now you upset the Frenchman.
I've also promised him future business.
We're getting a small cage for Raptor, and we're putting him in the cage.
As long as that cage is far the fuck away from this mansion, I'm in.
No, we're gonna get the cage. We're gonna put you in it, and then we're gonna throw it into the mansion.
I turn into a gorilla.
Could you turn
that-
into a ghost? Could it be like
That
a?
could work. Let's actually plow him with a ton of booze, turn him into a gorilla, throw him in the mansion, see what happens.
I will plow no one.
Not
My
today.
Christ, I miss you, Anthar. Not what I meant, but considering how snappy that comeback was, I'll allow it.
Well, sir, I seem to have found something that may be of interest. However, given your various accoutrements and type of garb, I see that it is far and away above your meager allowances, if you will. Though it still may be of interest. It is a holy weapon, provides a +2 bonus to attack. Certainly would be sufficient against unholy demons and the like. Also deals 2d6 damage against creatures of evil and alignments. Though, as I said, it is certainly beyond your meager abilities. However, I did find a interesting holy weapon that's maybe closer to your
Okay, I'm gonna pause you
what your
right there
coin
before
burst
you-
allows.
Before
Did
you
he just
go
call you a
on,
broke bitch?
He did.
before you go on, give me a number.
Well, for this this particular weapon, it would cost you a meager 2,000 gold pieces.
2,000, you say?
Yes, well, the blessings of the divine is a difficult thing to come by, especially for such a small weapon. I could provide a more interesting weapon in the more standard sizes, but certainly beyond your capability of wielding.
Okay, I am very effective at acquiring money quickly, but I cannot come up with that sum in this short time. Tell me the other option.
Well, for a paltry 100 gold pieces, I suppose I could give you this. It is a potion of holy blessings. Simply rub this on your weapon of choice. It provides a simple, more economically sustainable version of the holy blessing of this magnificent $2,000 sword. Meager $2,000 sword. But if
Can
you
I
cannot
use it
afford
more than
that,
twice?
excuse me, what did you say?
Can-
What did you
can I
say? What
use
did you say to my face in my own store?
I asked you if I can use it more than twice.
Indeed, you can. It provides a blessing on the blade. Adds a +1 bonus to the weapon of choice. Of course, it must be a masterwork. It will not work on any standard weapon. It also gives a 1d4 damage to creatures of a evil alignment.
Well, it seems that we're running circles here as I clearly am a broke bitch who does not have a masterwork weapon. I have a crossbow made out of office supplies that shoots needles. Will it work on that?
It will not, I'm afraid. I can sell you a masterwork weapon, certainly. But a masterwork is required for any magic enchantment
one of
on any
those.
weapon.
All right, sounds good. How about you give me a masterwork crossbow and you give me that whatever salve wipe thing and we call it a day.
All right, you're looking for just a regular crossbow?
A masterwork.
I bet a
Small
masterwork
crossbow.
version of a regular crossbow, because there's a lot of
A
different.
very small crossbow.
All right. Well, it just seems that I happen to have a crossbow that will work in a man of his stature. It is a standard crossbow for you, a simple 103 gold pieces for the masterwork crossbow, and then another 150 gold pieces for the holy enchantment.
Okay, so we're talking 200 and something.
253 gold pieces in total.
Okay, well,
A meager investment is if your occupation requires you to engage in such, how you say, demented creatures.
does he have these items on the table in front of me?
He hasn't pulled them out yet.
Oh no. Okay.
Oh God.
Would I be able to see these items? I want to make sure it's a proper fit for a man of my stature and poorness.
Certainly, of course. One moment. And he kind of reaches down and pulls a drawer out from underneath the front counter, picks up a toy-sized crossbow for him and places them in front of you, along with a single needle-sized bolt to go along with it.
I know
This
where
is
going, and I'm
this
so
is a masterwork crossbow made by the finest craftsmen that have ever worked on such crossbows. You will find no better.
Oh, very nice. So you have a pen and quill, or quill and paper.
Why do you
I
ask?
need to write a note for myself for later.
Yes, I suppose.
Also-
Why?
Yes. Can I borrow that? And then can you tell me what how much did you say this was?
The crossbow on its own is 103 gold,
Just in total.
253 gold pieces.
Okay, that number minus 44. How much is that?
I've got a calculator. What was the number again?
That would be a paltry sum of 109 gold pieces.
Perfect. And I write down on the paper the letters I, the letter O, the letter U.
Oh no.
What was it? 167? Whatever that number was.
So it's 209 gold pieces is the total.
I can pay him 44.
Okay. Sir, I would not even wipe my own ass with this.
Oh my god.
Very well. I will have my pets take this as well then.
Wait, so what are you doing?
I tell him that my pets will take the note with them, and then I cast. Oh, what the fuck is this thing called?
Yes.
Mad
Oh, God.
Monkeys.
Oh god. No, okay. Okay. then.
Mad Monkeys for flagrant burglary. Monkeys try to
God.
steal any one item from one creature in the area. Use your spell DC 10 as the monkey's thievery modifier. Their attempts rely more on distraction than subtlety, so the victim knows what item the monkey was trying to take. So I'm gonna have the monkeys take the crossbow, and myself am gonna grab the magic shit.
So he hasn't pulled out the magic shit yet. He's only pulled out the crossbow, so that's the only thing on the table right now. But okay, you hold on.
Say, you know, if poison works on ghosts.
Are you saying this as you're casting the magic monkeys? Because
I
you've
bought
already
my
cast.
ticket. I bought my ticket.
You definitely have. Okay, so you cast the magic monkeys. Sacre bleu! What is going on? What is going on in my shop? Get out of my shop!
Highway robbery, same as you've been doing.
You little and he starts like swearing in an ornate language you've never heard before.
Oh,
Well,
I love it.
This is the one and only item I can acquire from this shop for the rest of this playthrough. Cool. Do my monkeys steal the crossbow?
Let me see. I'm not sure. Roll.
Chaos raids.
2,000 gold is
By
fucking
monkey.
criminal. I can play by those rules. Damn, I should have had him pull out the 2,000 gold one, huh? Could have used that fucker, then had one of you guys come in, be like, "Hey, I found this. I'd like to return it to its rightful owner for a
Right, this-
small reward,
Bl-
just a quarter of its value."
right, no big deal. Just, you know.
Yeah.
So it seems that for the magic monkeys, the monkeys try to steal any one item from one creature in an area. Use your spell DC -10. The monkey's thievery modifier. So roll a d20, add your spell DC to that.
All right.
Third attempt, realize. And then it's going to be like as I read this, is a -10 from that. Because I
Okay.
guess they're
Sure. Well,
not
yeah, my
very,
spell
because
DC
they're not stealthy at all.
Yeah, my spell DC is 21, so that checks out. In total, that would be 25 after all mathematical applications.
Okay, 25. Oh wait, spell
Got
DC.
myself a new crossbow, boys.
Hell yeah.
God.
What's your spell DC? Actually,
21.
21. Okay. Because I actually don't think you roll on this. You wouldn't roll a d20. So it's 21 v him.
So is it
It'd just
spell
be
DC -10 plus thievery modifier then?
has the thievery.
Excuse me.
The
Holy
monkey's
smokes.
thievery modifier. Okay, so here's what. So it's your spell DC -10. So your spell DC is what, 21?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, so it's going to be d20 plus 11. So roll d20, add 11. That
Yeah.
is their.
Yeah, that was the 25.
Okay, that was 25.
Yeah.
And then that's going to go up against his reflex. Taking, getting. All right. Okay. So you cast magic monkeys. A flash of light comes, illuminates the room, and a horde of monkeys pile onto the counter, grabbing the crossbow, and flee the front door, running through the streets of Sandpoint, making cries and making generally a full ruckus within the town. Raptor, what are you doing at this very second?
As the monkeys emerge, I'm grabbing the IOU that I wrote and then chasing them out the door. And as I do, I'm rubbing the IOU on my ass.
As you're doing this, you hear behind you a swearing of a storm in a foreign accent. You hearing words that you've never heard before, both because they're swear words that have never been uttered in your native tongue, and the fact that they're in a foreign language. All right, you have one round before he pops out of the front door after you. What are you gonna do?
What are the monkeys doing?
The monkeys are getting the
Good
fuck out of
question.
there.
I'm whistling to Robin and hopping on and following the monkeys.
Okay. So the duration of the spell is 1 minute. You can. I think you can control the monkeys. So what do you want the monkeys to do? You have a minute before they disappear.
I don't know if I can, because getting a stolen item from the monkeys, even for the caster, requires stealing it from them or disarming them. So I think they're just fucking sentient, and all they know
Oh,
is
okay, they're fucking
theft.
off. Okay.
Yeah.
We're just fucking off.
So
All
I'm
right,
just
so
gonna
that-
follow them wherever the fuck they're going.
Well, let's see what part of town you guys are in.
They're gonna go like straight to the they're gonna go straight to the barricade or the
Again, dude.
sheriff.
I don't know. We're gonna find out.
There's at least one motherfucker in this town that is seeing these monkeys for the second time. thinking,
Like
"Huh,
those goddamn monkeys are back.
All right.
where
So
are they coming from? That's twice now in a week.
You know, we just can't. Is the circus in town?
okay, so here's the deal. The Feathered Serpent is number 44 right here.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll a 1d4 to figure out which direction they are running. One for north, 2 for west, 3 for south, and 4 for east.
Okay.
They are fucking off east.
Out of town? All right.
Yeah, they're going off here, and it's going to take them about. So since you're on Robin, you can pretty much keep pace with them pretty well. It's going to take them about 15 seconds to get to this point, cross the bridge, and then they're just going into the woods, and they're going to end up right about here. Yeah, right about here. By the time they disappear, leaving the crossbow on the ground. While this is happening, you hear behind you cries of "Thief! Thief! Sacre bleu! It is a thief! He has taken me! It's the little fucker!" And
Guard everything.
and
I-
while
I
this
just
is
follow
happening,
that
where's the rest of the party?
I guess I'm coming out of the general store with Anthar.
Yeah,
I
we're
think-
going to Xanthus, right?
Yeah, we were gonna go to the church.
Okay, so
Come on,
Utramir and
you see these
Anthar, you're
monkeys?
like way north. Tristan, you're at the general store. Let's see where the general. I can't remember which of the general store.
Just tell me it's right next to the magic shop.
26. So the general store is way over here.
Oh, thank God.
Perfect.
Way
Might be
over
able-
here.
We have
Might be able
nothing
to
to
do
do with
it.
this nonsense, and we want nothing to do with this
It's
nonsense.
nonsense.
So, and then Austin and Utramir, you're way north of town. You're like a north side of town. So as this is happening, you hear. You really don't hear much, actually. It's not it's not like a defensive alarm. It's just a thievery alarm. So you hear Raptor hears the shopkeeper yelling out and calling for the guard. What are you doing? As they're right about here at the edge of the wood, while the monkeys disappear.
The guard's following me into the woods over a stolen crossbow. There's
So
murders happening.
are you still in the air?
I'm counting in my head the 60 seconds that I know the monkeys are alive, and at like second 58, I'm swooping down. I want to grab that crossbow and get back in the air.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a thievery check on the monkeys.
They-
I want to wait for them to disappear, so it just falls.
Oh,
down
you
on
want to
the
wait for
ground.
them to disappear. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So from the air, it doesn't look like the town's guard has mobilized yet. It seems that the shopkeeper is the only one kind of yelling out, calling for the town guard, and maybe like one or two town guards have come to him while he's like frantically like kind of pulling his hair out and like pointing in your direction. He went that way. You must get him. It is the tiny little cocksucker. So as he's doing this, trying to get the guards to hunt you down, what are you gonna do? They have not left the town at this point.
I'm gonna get on my bird and just go into the woods and look for drugs, I guess.
Okay.
Cool down a little bit.
All right, so you're in the wood.
Stealing shit, gotta go for drugs.
So are you going deep into the wood?
Yeah, I'm continuing east into the woods.
I love
kind
it.
of northeast.
I love
Okay.
Not like horrifically far from town, just far enough that the guards can't track it.
Okay. Roll a stealth check.
Ooh, yes, that is 18 plus 14, 32.
All right.
Not a trace.
You notice that the guards have kind of formed a very small party. They almost seemed kind of annoyed at the idea that they have to track some guy down. Behind you, you notice there's about 3 guards behind you. And they follow the tracks of the monkeys and follow it right to where they end up disappearing. However, they kind of stop there and kind of look around the area, and after about 10 or 15 minutes or so, they return to Sandpoint, assumingly to tell the shopkeeper that you had gotten away.
Check for drugs now.
Roll a nature check.
Nature.
That's going to take you about an hour to hunt for drugs.
Yeah, I'll do that while everyone else is talking to the priest or the holy water guy. I have my priorities. It's a 28.
I love it.
Okay.
And we're cut to a comical shot of the of the sheriff being like, having a nice cup of tea when all of a sudden the fucking monkeys are back.
That's actually a bad thing because Hemlock knows exactly what that means.
That's true. Oh shit.
Yes, however, I'll just deny it. I don't control those monkeys. I turn into
We're
animals,
also not here
summon
to
them.
save your ass.
No, we don't have to worry about this until he knocks on our door stupid early in the morning again. This is a problem for later.
You find, let's see what you find. You find green elemental mushrooms.
You're goddamn right I do.
You know that eating them on their own is relatively fruitless. However, if combined with coriander, they provide they act as a powerful AC booster against acid attacks.
Nice.
So you could spend another hour looking for coriander if you wanted to, and then attempt to make elixir of elemental energy acid resistance.
Yeah, I'll just take the green elemental mushrooms for now.
So while that's happening, Anthar and Outramir, what are you doing? You guys are up talking to Father Xantus?
Oh yeah.
All right.
I mean,
Isn't this nice? Just peacefully walking the streets with Father Xantus.
it's like nothing bad could potentially happen.
Like without a care in the world, I just feel so secure in my sanity right now.
Almost like nothing could go wrong today.
What? Why am I even talking about this? This is weird. Sorry.
As you make it to the citadel, or the cathedral rather, it seems that Father Xantus is kind of attending to his flock, giving a sermon. Conveniently, is just about. It seems like he's just about finishing up with his morning sermon, and he's kind of just greeting people as they walk out and continue on their day.
We shall walk up to him and, or should we give him a minute, Anthar? You think to say his goodbye, since it seems like we're having a pretty okay day right now. Nothing too crazy is happening.
He's a little sensitive. We'll wait.
Right, we can wait. It's not too much of a rush.
So after about 20 or 30 minutes or so, he kind of can finish his kind of greeting people. Looks like there's one elderly woman that he's certainly happy enough to continue the conversation, but she seems a bit starved for conversations. So she's kind of like the last lingering individual from at church.
Gotcha.
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna just continue to wait?
I'll hold the door for her.
She talks for about another 15 minutes or so about pretty much nothing, nothing of interest, and Father Xanthus thanks her for her attendance, and then sees that you two have walked through. Ah, yes, Anthar, is it, and Utramir? How have things been? I haven't seen you in quite some time.
Oh, sorry, Anthar. After you.
Nope. I'm just holding this door.
We are doing good, Father Xanthus. I hope that everything has been going well here at the church.
Yes, indeed. The faithful have come for their morning's prayer, and all is well this morning. That, with the exception of the unpleasantness of the last few days, that was in fact the topic of my sermons this day.
Listen, Father, we're real sorry we couldn't make it this time. Next time.
Right. Absolutely.
Well, you are always welcome, my sons.
I wink at him like,
Call me son one more time. Oh god, that is the wrong thing to say to anybody in this family.
Father, we speaking of the murders, we are visiting Foxglove Manor, which we have heard to be haunted. We were curious if you could help us by procuring some holy water, or if you have any ideas for fighting against ghosts, ghouls, anything like that.
Well, indeed. Well, certainly I can provide some holy water. That's the least I could do. I think we have a few vials lying around that may be of use. As far as other things that might prove useful, I'm afraid that I am lacking in such weaponry. However, given enough time and preparation, I suppose I could perform a minor blessing on a weapon or two.
Ooh. That would be great if you could do that. If we can. Do you have a weapon in particular, Anthar? I was thinking if you wouldn't mind, Father, my rapier. If you could bless that.
Well, why don't the two of you come into my office and we'll see how much ingredients I have. See how many we can apply to. And he leads you through the main chamber, through the courtyard to his office. He kind of thumbs through a couple of chests looking for, and pulls out a couple of vials, some kind of looks like bindings of of dried green leafery, as well as a couple of like a vial that looks like it's made filled with gold powder. It seems that I only have enough ingredients for the blessing of a single weapon, I'm afraid. But I do have 5 vials of holy water, if that proves useful.
That would be great, Father. The 5 vials of holy water would be fantastic. And blessing enough for 1 weapon. What do you?
What does this blessing do?
Well, with this blessing, granted, it must be done on a masterwork weapon.
Nice.
These sorts of these sorts
I had
of
one of
weapons.
those.
These sorts of weapons don't take well to common weaponry. But assuming we have a masterwork weapon, it provides a +2 bonus to attack, as well as a additional damage of 2d6 against creatures of an evil alignment.
Wow, I don't think I have that, so it's all yours for me.
Oh, let's see if I do have a masterwork weapon. I bet I do, but
At least I don't think I do.
let's see. I do have a masterwork short bow. Do I have anything else? Let me go to my
So,
inventory.
putting this into context, I just double checked the rule on this. This is an $8,000 blessing, 8,000 coin blessing he's putting on this thing. Just so you guys are aware.
Oh, sorry, Father. I don't think we can afford the
Father
blessing at this time.
Fantas, we're not worthy.
Right, we are not. Maybe another time, Father.
We'll definitely
He
come to the next prayer meeting.
Right.
Well, it's certainly a uncommon request, but given all that you've done for Sandpoint, I would be more than happy to give this blessing.
You don't have to do
Oh,
that.
no.
But if you insist, all right.
I wish that I could help further, but unfortunately, I only have enough supplies for a single blessing.
I'm sure that'll do just fine.
That's good.
Oh, Father Zandes, you are so kind.
Coins.
Here we see the dichotomy of humans. On one hand, flagrant burglary. On the other, graciousness.
So what weapon did you have in mind, my sons?
You know, maybe we should wait for Tristan to get here. Maybe he has a weapon that's a masterwork weapon he could use. Because I mean, I'm okay with using one of my masterworks, but I mostly rely on my rapier. So, do you have anything, Anthar, that you're like, any masterworks that you're like, oh, I could use that? And I would say Raptor, but I know right now you're looking for.
I don't have any masterwork weapons or anything.
Gotcha.
I got one.
Yes. All right. Let's just we'll wait
That's
for.
what happens when you stick around.
One other thing to note: this enchantment does not stack with any other enchantment, so it would have to be a currently unenchanted masterwork weapon.
Fuck, I don't know if I want to do this no more. Shit, for the good sake. All right, goods and the many outweigh the needs of few individual. All right, I will make my way to you guys if you can find me.
Yes.
They told you that they were going to go to Father Xantus. So after you're done, you kind of hear on the distance, on the edge of town, a bit of a ruckus. But ignoring that, you make your way to the cathedral.
I very noticeably walk in the opposite direction of the ruckus. Like, very pointedly, this looked like...
Going that way.
Going that way. All right, I'm gonna just scurry on. I'm gonna just speed mark. Like when you put on the Sims on fast forward, I'm gonna speed mark my way into the church and my companions be like, "What's going on out there? I don't really know what's going on." But
You might still see me holding the door. That's
I mean, I'm flattered, but why are you here and holding the door?
This lady takes forever.
Oh, she's gone. She's gone.
Oh, thank goodness.
She was talking
What?
Father Xantus's ear off, but he was too gracious to say
I
goodbye.
look around like, what lady?
No, yeah, it was a while ago.
Okay, let's we go inside. You're gonna get a cold.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna walk in the back and go to Uchibe and be like, what's going on?
I'll relay the information to Tristan. We the Father Zent has been so kind to offer to bless one of our masterwork weapons, if you have one, that could help us in our fight against whatever supernatural entities we come across.
Do you have a masterwork weapon?
I do have a masterwork bow, short bow, but I wanted, before we made any rash decisions.
You can also, if you don't have a masterwork weapon that you want to use, you can also just buy the masterwork weapon and then get that enchanted by Father Xantus.
Gotcha.
You can
Any of
more
us
or
have
less
that kind of
find.
disposable income.
Yeah, you can. Depending on the rarity of the weapon, you can find most common masterwork weapons around town.
I have one. So, well, my sword is a masterwork. I'll unbelt my bastard sword and just kind of like here.
And is this the weapon that you wish to be enchanted, my sons?
This sword, though I've done a lot of good with it, it belonged to somebody who was a little more unscrupulous than we are. I can think of no better way to atone for its possible misdeeds than to be doing more good now.
I think it's a great idea.
A fine story for a fine blade.
Now
Well,
we're gonna figure the name after this shit.
if you follow me to the altar, we'll proceed with the blessing enchantment, and I'll leave you with a new blade. He leads you to the main altar stone of the citadel of the cathedral, and he pulls out a series of vials and dried bunches of green finery. He places a line of gold dust on the blade and pours over it a blessing of holy water, while burning a kind of a sage-looking binding of dried sage. The smell of incense fills the room. It almost makes it difficult to breathe now. And he says kind of a prayer and puts his hand on the blade. A small light emanates from his palm, and he kind of rests his hand on the blade. And a moment later, he wipes the blade down, free of any now burnt gold and holy water. cleans it fine, and then sheaths it into its scabbard, handing it back to Tristan. This sword now has the blessing of the gods. Wield it well in rightful and truth.
Tristan thinks to himself, shit.
He also hands you 5 vials of holy water.
Wait. Gonna take that too.
We are blessed.
Blessed up. I guess
Now
my
go.
sword's holy now.
Now go, my
Oh,
sons.
what does that do exactly? What do we need to add it?
The sword was a +1 bonus. Now it's a +2 bonus, so that applies to your attack. So it's a +2 attack.
Okay.
And then when it hits, it hits for regular damage,
Okay.
but it also hits for 2d6 damage against evil alignment creatures. That's the important thing. It's got to be a creature of evil alignment.
So, it could
So
be like-
chaotic evil, neutral evil, or lawful evil.
Okay.
It's got to
Well, I
be
mean,
evil.
considering most of the things we're going to be taking on.
hopefully most of them are evil.
But hey, a +1 to my striking. Yes. Woo! Woo!
That's all I'm talking about.
Now go, my sons.
All right.
With the blessing of Desna be with you.
I'm going to have to go and, get some more, finery. I'm going to have to, doll this sword up now.
It's gonna need to get. It's
Get it
gonna.
off the map.
We hear you like your
It's
sword.
going to have to, look. It's got to, look.
So I think with that, we'll take a quick break and then return and see what you guys do with that.
Sounds good.
All right.
Right.
And we're back. All right. So it looks like the party is just getting together the last of their equipment before venturing off from Sandpoint. At the moment, you are all at the Sandpoint Cathedral. What would you like to do from here?
I'm going to reverently slide the sword back in my scabbard.
Have I returned from my harvest?
Yes, you have. You found the party. Are you going to tell them about that?
Absolutely fucking not.
I didn't think so. I thought I wanted to ask, though.
I'll tell them I found some green elemental mushrooms, and they will believe that that is all I did.
Okay.
Definitely, Outremer is gonna believe that.
Roll a deception check and see how believable you actually are.
See, I'm not lying is the thing. I did find.
Oh, that's
elemental
true.
mushrooms.
Okay. Well. Okay, I won't make you roll then. 'Cause there's I'll let it slide this one. All right. So, what would you like to do from here?
Where is Foxglove Manor actually? Do you...
Yes. So you guys actually have a couple of notes from the necromancer and from the doctor that note out where the actual location. I will bring up a map for you guys.
Because I was like, oh yeah, it's on the map here on Sandpoint. I realized, oh wait, no, those are the other manors.
So if we take a look at the Sandpoint Hinterlands map, we will find Sandpoint itself is right here, right at the very top. Now, Foxglove Manor is south Sandpoint. You have to follow the Lost Coast Road south, continue farther down, quite a ways. Then you go off to a kind of a side road, and you find Foxglove River. So you have to follow the Foxglove River all the way over here.
Damn.
So it is about 10 miles outside of town.
All right, we got a bit of a journey ahead of us.
So at this point, it's about noon or so. So it's going to take you the rest of the day by horseback to make it there by about. You'll make it there right about nightfall.
Perfect for a spooky manor. I know a lot of people would say, let's just wait for day, but fuck that.
No, let's just camp out in the woods, hit it in the morning.
I vote for
fucking Rocca if you want to go into the haunted manor at the fall of night.
So for those of us who aren't children, are we riding through the night to get there at nightfall?
You say that
Yes.
as an insult. I am literally a child.
Oh, I know. I had to pay for it. Literally.
I think it's a good idea that we ride there tonight. What do you think, Anton?
Well, if we ride there and we get there at night, not only can we study the ground we're about to fight on at night, when things are going to be active, we're also going to have some time to breathe, to camp, to prepare strategy. You know, just because we're getting there at night doesn't necessarily mean we're going on the attack at night, Raptor.
That's what I like to hear.
Maybe. We'll see. There might be extenuating circumstances. We don't know. But we definitely should hurry to get there and then set up a plan of attack. I mean, is everybody in accordance with this?
100%.
All right. Anthar, any protests? Any agreements? Anything to add?
You got to stalk your prey before you can kill it.
I like it.
All right. So we'll rush there, set up camp on the outskirts of the manor, see what we can't figure out. You have medical equipment, sorry, forgot my accent. You have medical. You have bandages to make, correct? So we can sit down. You can knock out some of those. Ultramare, Raptor, and I can. Well, Ultramare and I can scout things out from the ground. Raptor has a bird, so.
Oh,
Any
hands
aerial
might be a little
sense.
sore.
I ain't flying close to that manor at all. I can give you a scout from about 500 meters, but that's the best I can do.
All right.
You're gonna do as we say.
Yeah, we'll fucking see about that, Tristan.
Yeah, we will. You're gonna do as I say. You're gonna follow orders.
Think
'Cause that went so well every other time.
Raptor, how would you like to lead us?
That's an oxymoron, Anthony. Raptor and leading?
Oh yeah, keeping us safe, taking charge. You look like a person who could, use some more responsibilities and prove yourself.
Well, Anthar, I've known you for about 7-8 hours now, and as much as I'd love to accept this offer, literally any time besides the Haunted Mansion, I'd take you up on it. This time,
Tristan
hell
smells his
no.
breath to see if he's drunk.
I mean,
No,
who knows
sober.
how many drugs you'll find before we get there.
Oh, you clever bastard.
Well, I suppose I can scout ahead for demons. I mean, drugs. No, I meant demons.
Very well.
All right.
Anthar,
So,
you clever pointy-eared bastard.
He'll be fine.
all right. So you're heading out by horseback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Entered.
You come to the Sandpoint. You come to the Sandpoint stables, and looks like your horses are ready for a journey. They seem to be healthy and well fed, well watered. And you make your way down south, following the Lost Coast Road towards the Foxglove Manor. From the time that you leave Sandpoint to the Foxglove Manor, you expect that it's going to take you pretty much the rest of the day. It'll put you right about sunset or so by the time you make it to the Foxglove Manor. Do you do anything in between? Do you pretty much make a beeline for Foxglove Manor and make any detours, or do you talk about anything in particular on your ride?
I set my horse to autopilot. Do some brewing of bandage of healing.
I'm going to also set my horse, or Longshanks, to autopilot and ask Anthar about what he was doing on his travels and just kind of catch up.
I'm going to look for any sort of drug that makes reality more bearable.
Anything you can sniff out.
Yeah, anything that'll make it less terrifying to be in this haunted mansion.
And I will
roll a nature check,
oh, yeah.
Raptor.
Looks good. 19.
Anything, it'll be more haunted.
12, 31.
All right. You find, looking through the forest, a flower, a white flower that curves over and seems to be protruding not a pollen, but rather a white sap. You identify it as the whole gill flower, one that can be dried, or rather brewed into a tea, and elicits various positive body feeling. It's a substance that elicits a kind of a body enlightenment, if you will, but you know it to be also a addictive and a dangerous substance.
I sure do know that, and I sure don't care. I harvest.
All right.
That's perfect, because I already have a whole gill healing miner, so
Oh,
let's
God.
double down on that.
All
Can
right.
I do the rest of the journey to turn that flower into a usable potion?
So you're going to need, for that particular one, it's going to require the alchemic crafting skill feat. Do you have that?
I do not know.
All right. You're going to need the alchemic crafting skill feat to turn that into a usable illicit substance, and a proficiency in trained in medicine, as well as an alchemist toolkit. So it's going to require a little bit of preparation in order to do that. But you know also that should it be made into a proper elixir, it provides 3d10 plus 10 temporary HP for 1 hour, which is essentially bonus HP on top of your regular HP.
Yeah, would that be the minor level?
That would be the minor, yeah.
Okay, cool.
But that's the only one that you can make at this point, because the next one's level 12.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, sorry. Also, during the ride, I'm gonna try and whittle a. I want to find a good piece of wood and whittle a cross, because I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna work, but you never know. You never know.
All right. You begin to whittle. Go ahead and roll a crafting check to see how you do.
Oh boy. You think this would be easy, but knowing me on my crafting skills is gonna turn my cross is gonna turn into like a triangle.
You're gonna somehow carve a 7-pointed star.
I rolled a 15 plus 2, so 17.
All right. So you managed to craft yourself I would call it an adequate cross. It's kind of a lowercase t. But then you kind of, after you finish it, you look at it and you realize, I don't know what this symbolizes.
Oh, good point. I didn't even think about that.
You make yourself a wooden dagger.
Oh yes, I've seen in some plays, around town that these.
Shouldn't you sharpen the edge if you're trying to make yourself a reserve like push knife?
Oh, actually, now that you say it, that might be more useful than whatever I was making here. But I've seen in plays, people use this. I don't really know what it means, but they use it.
The power of claws compels you.
Exactly.
Thank you, Raptor.
It's a very
Whiskey before we started playing.
could be used to repel demons. I don't know if it will work, but in fact, I don't even really know what it is or means. But
Justin feels a slight shiver down his spine, and he doesn't know why.
Okay.
you know, I don't know if this is gonna work. And
I get the. I think we're gonna be all right. I'm sure we'll be fine.
you know, this will make this will make a great toothpick. Carve the edges off.
What is that? That looks pretty cute. What'd you build?
Oh, it's one of these like these things.
It looks like a small dagger, like he's
Right.
just trying to make a wooden push dagger or something like that.
I thought I've seen stuff like that in the plays around town. You know, the scary ones.
Might be a good kebab stick or something.
Ooh, you know what? Yeah, let's throw out the idea of a toothpick. Let's go with kebab, whatever we have for food tonight. Ooh, gonna sharpen that, make it a nice, nice sharp kebab.
So, Antho, what exactly were you tracking while you were separated from us?
Whoa, what?
Again, that's legitimately why I set my horse to autopilot. Like, what were you doing while you were gone?
I see you set your horse to autopilot, just like me. What are you trying to say?
What were you doing while you were gone?
Well, I feel like I know less about you than you know about me.
That's by intent, but okay.
Okay. Then you would know that we can have a mutual respect to confined information.
Sure.
Okay. Good. I'm glad we agree then.
Good talk.
Tristan feels a little confused, but at the same time, he just kind of thinks in the back of his head, he's like, is this what it's like to talk to me about my past?
It
It's like,
certainly
oh.
is, Tristan.
Tristan
I
just
just
had a
go-
revelation. He's like, oh, that's what it feels like. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sure you were out, Anthar, still trying to whittle it down trying to whittle that cross into a good kebab. I'm sure you were off searching for in search of some more good deeds, fighting the good fight, and maybe perhaps looking for Shalelu.
I don't need to look for her anymore.
Wait, wasn't that girl back at Sandpoint?
Oh yes, you know it.
Wait, there's something between you and her?
You couldn't tell with the pointy ears.
No. See, I try not to make assumptions on people based off their races and appearances.
Well, with elves, you should.
Oh, I'd say it was getting pretty
Well, I was
hot and
going to
heavy.
shake your hand for, I mean, she's a very fair maiden, but if you're going to act like that, I just snap my horse's reins and take it off autopilot.
I don't think you understand. Elves are a particular breed.
I mean,
I'm someone with the appearance of a human with all silver eyes who's remarkably pretty. I think if anyone understands what you're going through, it's me. But
I would definitely say it was getting pretty hot and heavy between you two.
Future me, is that an armor stand you're making for me? Why, thank you.
You know what? It definitely is.
It's a
after
perch.
his armor?
Just got to find some good tape to make it a perch.
After his armor? I'm still reeling from the fact that there's teeny tiny
Little.
Like a teeny tiny set of armor must mean that there's a teeny tiny blacksmith with a teeny tiny hammer.
Oh. Ding ding. Just
No, I wear simple clothing. But if I had armor, I would put it on that stand.
this armor, it will kill.
So at this point, you find yourself right about at the crossroad that leads you off from the Lost Coast Road down a side road leading to the manor, with the Foxglove River on your side. The route leading out to the Foxglove Manor is a 3-mile hike along a narrow path that follows the Foxglove River and is covered from... Okay. That flows with a covered bridge that flows under the Lost Coast Road to a series of dark sea cliffs overlooking the Varetian Gulf. Here, wild seabirds call out to the roaring ocean and churns hundreds of feet below. It almost seems that nature itself has become sick and twisted. Nettles and thorns grow more prominent. Trees have less leaves and seem to be bent. The wild seems to be unnaturally cold and shrill, and whistles through the cliffside crags. The path slowly rises, bending around a steep corner of the cliffs, and the Foxglove Manor looms on the edge of the world. A straggly, cold sea wind rises, kneeling and shrieks as the Foxglove Manor comes into view. This place has earned the local nickname of the Misgivings Well, for it almost appears to loathe its perch high above the ocean.
This must be the place.
Are we sure it's not too late to turn back?
It's certainly too late to turn back now.
Damn. I was ready to say we are leaving.
We're leaving.
Raptor looks up to the sky and says, "Well, Mother, I guess I'll never see you again. I'm sorry I have failed in everything that I've done. This is it. This is the end. Goodbye."
At this point, it seems that the sun is beginning to set on the coast to the west, and the cold of the ocean permeates up, filling your very spines. With the manor close at hand, you almost feel the chill emanate through your very bones.
Right. So, we better set up camp quickly, get a fire going, and then find something to eat for tonight. If not, we're going to have to deal with provisions, get a good night's rest, and then tackle us in the morning, yes?
For sure.
All right. How's everybody feeling? Who's in terms of exhaustion or soreness, where's everybody at?
I can go hunt.
Okay, Anthar, go ahead and see if you can't hunt anything. Outremer, you're the most dexterous of us. You think you can set up camp?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, Raptor,
Yes.
I need you to do a wide sweep of the surrounding area. You don't have to go over the mansion, but I just need you to get a rough estimate of what we're dealing with here. I'll do the same, but we're going to do it in like a giant ring. You're going to go around this way. I'm going to form the inner ring and get a little closer and see if we can't suss out any details around it, okay?
Okay, but if I see a demon, I'm coming back immediately.
Report it to Outremer. We'll all meet back at this point.
So, how far from the manor are you making camp? The road itself leads right to the manor. It's about a 3-mile gap between the crossroads of the Lost Coast Road and the manor itself. So at what point are you making camp?
Let's set up camp near the road, so we have that 3-mile reactionary gap.
Yep.
Raptor, you follow around that, like from where I guess a signpost or where the road would be. Just fly straight up and then fly around. I'll go a little deeper until there's about a mile. There's about a mile between me and the house, and just kind of do a semicircle or a full loop, depending on how the surrounding area is. Because if there's deep wood, I ain't going in that shit alone. That's how you die.
So are we about at the O of glove on the map then?
I think so, right?
You are so. Here. So the crossroads is right about here from the Lost Coast Road that leads down the Foxglove Manor. You can make camp at any point, at anywhere you want.
Right where the cursor is seems pretty solid.
Right about here.
Let's
That
do it.
puts you
Let's do
300
the-
to 500 yards from the Foxglove Manor or so.
Let's go right after that bridge.
Right about here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
That'll put you about a little less than a mile from Foxglove Manor.
Okay, so with that information, Raptor, just
Maybe
get
3/4
from
of a
where we
mile.
are, do that circle around the ocean, and then just circle back. I'll just ride forward to just about that last big red dot on the manor, and then just kind of like see what I can't see, and then ride back. I'll stay on horseback because if I have to run, that's
Yeah.
yeah, it's probably fast. It's probably more prudent to stay on horse.
Did we get our cool demon tent? The like fur coat.
So you guys
Production.
got it tanned. So it's made up. It's basically a giant fur at this point. You have not made it or had it made or made it into a tent at all. It's just a giant fur in one of your guys' packs or
Gotcha.
back at the townhouse. One of you guys either has it or it's back at the townhouse. It's a the hide itself flattened out covers about 30 by 30 foot square area.
Nobody's
did-
carrying that.
I was gonna say I don't think I carry. I think I didn't bring it at least.
Probably would have weighed in somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 pounds. It's a very
Yeah,
it's pretty heavy hide. Maybe 50.
It's probably good we didn't bring it with us then. I'll just set up I'll build a regular old campsite for us.
Okay. So we'll start with Raptor and Tristan's reconnaissance. So, as Tristan, you ride forth. How far do you get to the manor? How close do you get to the manor?
I'm not gonna like run up on the manor, but just enough that I can kind of. I'm just gonna get within eyesight that I can kind of glance around and see.
Okay.
And get a picture of the place. My sword's drawn. So I'm not going to this shit without a weapon. I'm just gonna kind of glance around, see what I can't kind of take in, because I can assume that Raptor's getting a sort of a 360 around the whole entire area.
And Raptor, how close are you getting?
I'm gonna go ahead and follow above Tristan until that last dot there, that big dot, and then from there, I'll wrap around the manor at like 75 meters away from it and above it. Close enough that I can kind of see what's going on, but far enough that if a fucking fireball comes flying at me, I have a chance to dodge it.
Okay. So, Tristan, you actually, I'm gonna have you both roll perception. We'll see how much you actually see.
Dirty 20.
Where's my fucking perception?
And Raptor, you're about 75 feet from the building itself, correct?
Yeah.
In the air?
7. Yeah. Yep, in the air. And I'll do a couple laps around it. One kind of at the like second floor, and then one kind of above whatever the top is.
31? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dang.
All right. Despite getting a 31, Tristan, you're having quite a bit of difficulty ascertaining too many details from such a distance. Though you do see the building itself perched on top of a cliff outlooking the Varusian Gulf, as well as what appears to be the remnants of kind of a servant's quarters or servant's area, an auxiliary building or area where the servants and the help dwelled on the manor. The building itself being about 3 or 4 stories tall, beyond that, it's difficult for you to really see much else detail at your distance.
Tristan thinks to himself how this is, if this was a castle, meant for defense instead of a manor, how much of a better position this would be.
It certainly would it certainly has a fine position defensively. There's only one obvious access point, which would be the front, the road that leads up to the manor itself, with it being about 300 feet or so above the rocky shores beneath. There's no other access point to the building itself. Raptor, however, you getting a little bit closer to the building, you notice that the roof sags in many places, and mold and mildew cake on the crumbling walls. Vines of displaced-looking gray plants kind of sag on the structure in several places, hanging down over the precipice of the cliff's edge, almost as though it is a tangled braid of hair. The house is crooked, and its gables align sharply in a breached in at least 3 places. The hastily repaired planks of sodden wood. The chimneys rise from various points among the rooftops, kind of leaning like an old man in a storm, in a kind of a broken series of eaves. You also notice, as you kind of making your way around the building itself, a series of stained glass windows that face outward into the Varusian Gulf. Though the building itself from the exterior seems to be predominantly disheveled, misshapen, and plumb forgotten.
Okay, can I see in through that stained glass at all?
You cannot. It's kind of a colored stained glass, so you can't see through it.
Okay.
Though it has many odd depictions that at your distance you can't quite make out.
Do they look roughly like any sort of figure, animal or otherwise?
There seems to be kind of various depictions of odd animals and maybe some humanoid creatures.
Okay.
But it's difficult to perceive them at your distance.
Okay, I would like to do one final loop around and take a look at the cliff that it's on, and just kind of see what the structural integrity of this entire foundation kind of looks like.
It seems that the foundation of the manor was well placed. The cliffs beneath it seemed to be strong and stable. Though any fall to those cliffs would be almost certain doom. It's about a 300-foot drop between the manor itself and the rocky shores below. At low tide, you would expect it to have a couple of outcroppings that would be difficult to avoid in a fall. Near impossible, in fact. Though the structural integrity of the cliff itself seems to be sound.
Okay. Is there any evidence of like a weird fucking cliffside balcony that would be the basement, like somewhere under the house but jutting out into the cliffside?
Let me check. Surprisingly, it seems to be lacking much in the way of outward-facing balconies to face the ocean and the Varisian Gulf. It seems that most of the walls that face the Gulf itself are of a stained glass style, and there doesn't seem to be any kind of outcropping from any kind of a basement that you can see from there.
Cool. I fuck off back to Tristan.
All right. So that took them about an hour to do their recon. Anthar and... we'll start with Anthar. So Anthar, what are you doing? You're doing hunting?
Yes, sir.
Roll the survival check.
Survival. Yeah. 25.
You find the area to be fairly barren of wild game. Not a hare in sight. However, you do find a fair amount of seagulls in the area.
That's disgusting.
Would you like to attempt to harvest a seagull?
Sure.
Yes.
You successfully harvest 2 seagulls. About enough for 2 individuals of your party, but not enough to really constitute a full meal amongst the rest of the party. You can certainly put it into a stew or something like that and kind of break it amongst the party, but there's only about enough meat for about 2 people.
If I head over to the marsh, would there be more tracks?
You want to search for tracks?
Yes, at least in the immediate area.
Roll a survival check.
Another 25.
And you're looking... where exactly are you looking?
I was thinking of going across the bridge at the least and head towards the marsh.
So right about here?
Yeah, a little
Or
bit to the right.
You're trying to go into the marsh itself?
At least head towards that way to see if there's any like animal life heading towards that part of the water.
Okay. And you're kind of doing this while you're hunting?
Yeah.
Okay. 25?
25.
All right. You find a series of tracks very similar to the ones found by the party outside the Sandpoint lumber mill. The scene of the most violent of the crimes on the towns of Sandpoint. In fact, they seem to be identical to the elongated talon-like claws of the perpetrator.
That fucker would make a good meal.
Get
Get him, Anthar.
Yes.
Wow.
You find these tracks starting right about here, at the edge of the marsh, leading to the road that leads to this Foxglove Manor, and they continue to head up in the direction of the manor itself.
You know how fresh these tracks are? Or do I know how fresh these tracks are?
It's difficult to ascertain how fresh they are. You would place it anywhere from 12 hours to 3 days, maybe as old as a week. It's
Okay.
it's difficult to tell how old these tracks actually are.
Okay. That brings some comfort. Is there do I notice any routine of travel? Like, is there like I don't know, older tracks and then newer tracks and farther older tracks where it's like a pattern of a path?
You find at least 2 sets of tracks, both back and forth.
They're the same?
They are the same footprint.
Awesome. Do I go and see what's over there?
I don't know, do you?
I want you to ask
definitely-
yourself a question here. Do you really want to lean into this whole lone wolf lancer part of the 5-man band thing here?
It's definitely gone though. It's closer to you guys than it is to me.
That's true.
The freshest set of tracks seems to be leading towards the Foxglove Manor.
Oh yeah, so I'd be going away from it.
Don't
All
fuck
right.
with wolves, Anthar. It's never worth it.
But I love the hunt. Right. I'm gonna count my losses and take these 2 seagulls back to Outremer.
All right. And while Raptor and Tristan were conducting their reconnaissance, and Anthar was tracking and hunting, Outremer, what are you doing?
I'm going to gather some wood and stone to get a fire going first. Want to get that going before the shelter. So I'm going to go gather some wood and stone. Should I roll a die? Should I roll anything to go
Roll a
searching?
survival check.
You got it.
The making of a fire pit is relatively easy. However, we'll see how well you do on actually starting a fire.
Let's see. Dirty 20.
After a little bit of encouragement by your flint and steel, you managed to spark a flame. And by the time of Anthar's return, you have a nice roaring fire and the beginnings of a beautiful bed of coals ready for his recently caught and cleaned kill.
Nice. Ooh, seagulls. I like it.
When did you learn how to make a fire?
Oh,
I'm not picturing Tremere just being like, "Come on, you can make a little
please,
fire."
come on, little fire. Let's go.
You're much better at making fires than you are whatever you were trying to do earlier.
Definitely a better fire maker than I am a wood carver. My whittling
God,
skills are
Anthar is
limited.
the Raphael of this group.
Very true.
That's just the truth. But no, when I grew up on the farm, we'd go hunting with my brother and I and my father. We'd go hunting, and we had to make fires and shelter for the night. We'd go for an overnight hunt.
So what do you say we cook these bad boys up?
Let's do it. Do you find anything interesting out there?
No.
Good.
I-
I don't think my heart could take anything.
Yeah, I know.
I am gonna tell you, Tremere, Tristan's still wondering which parent is which. But at the same time, he doesn't want to know because that would put images in his head. He's all like, ugh.
Don't worry, I'll reveal to you. I can say
So
I have no
he's like-
secrets.
Because on one hand, he's all like, that's just a big orc man doing, oh my god. But on the other hand, that's a big orc woman doing, oh my
Oh my god!
and twice?
Right? Oh.
Ooh.
So at this point, I think all the parties pretty much come together. However, it seems that
Fifth member has joined us.
no.
Dun, dun, dun.
It seems that the weather is beginning to turn. As it gets darker and darker, you see foreboding shadows and rain clouds emanate from the coast. They almost seem to wash over the manor itself as they get closer and closer to you.
Should
Can I see anything with dark vision?
You can see that there's storm clouds.
Oh, okay.
Quickly.
It's getting dark. It's about past dark at this point. But judging by the clouds, it seems that there's a very good chance of rainfall.
Okay, I'm going to construct a lean, dismount, hitch my horse, and immediately get set to building a lean-to.
Good
Okay.
idea.
Or like a overhang that we can all just like,
I'll assist.
All right, so whoever wants to take point on that, roll a survival check, plus advantage.
okay,
So who's taking point on that?
I'll do it. I have a plus 10 to, how much do you have to survival?
8. So yeah, definitely.
I have a 10.
And you're making a big enough one for the whole party.
I mean, Anthar's being a dick, and Raptor and I are on each
I'll
other's
do it.
shit list at
I
the
don't care.
moment. But,
You know what?
but,
Get you, Tristan.
let me
I'm gonna
finish.
take point on this.
But,
Just on you, Tristan, I have a 12 modifier, and I'm gonna find a hole to sleep in.
but,
Okay.
but, they're members of my team, and I take care of my own. So
No,
yeah,
no, I'm gonna do it.
So
Yeah,
yes,
that's it.
I'm
You
going
talked
to
me
take care
into
of
it.
them both.
Forget you, Tristan. I'll do it myself.
I said I was
Make
doing
my
it
own.
for everyone.
Make my own.
No,
I'll do
it's-
it. No
There's
need.
All right.
23, so just take the fucking thing.
All right. Tristan, you successfully build a lean-to large enough for the entire party. Looks like should be water resistant.
Should be.
It looks water resistant.
You know,
that scares the shit out of me.
You know what,
Can you check my homework for me?
Oh, sure. I could do a quick once over.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a perception check.
You got it. Let's see. 17.
It seems waterproof.
Hey, Anthar, would you like to double check my homework?
Yeah, sure.
Roll a perception check.
What's my perception?
I checked my own homework, but I'm assured that it's waterproof.
29.
Ooh, okay.
Thanks.
So, with Anthar's superior elf eyes, he comes to the conclusion that seems waterproof.
It seems waterproof.
Boy, that shelter you got there, it's not waterproof, I can tell you right now. I'm asleep in this hole over here. It's only big enough for me. Go fuck yourself. Good luck.
Wait, Raptor, help me make the hole big enough for the two of us.
Oh my God.
I mean,
like to-
certainly
I would
we
like
could
to-
improve it, right?
Can we?
Sure.
Seems like there's room for improvement.
Yeah. I'm going to try to improve it.
Roll survival.
Okie dokie.
If you knock this over, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
You know what? I should have done it in the first place. 29. Wow.
All right,
Ooh.
you thatch it up a little bit, add a little bit of extra water resistance, and after finishing it, you look at it and say, "Seems waterproof."
This is definitely waterproof.
Yeah. You know, it seems like there's no better time than to put this skewer to work with those seagulls to have a nice, delicious shishka seagull.
I'll pull out my dagger and help Utramir go with the cooking. Since Anthar was gracious enough to, basically like shore up my home, my lean-to.
I shake my head at Tristan.
All right.
No, it's times like these that I'm glad that we don't have any infighting.
Listen, I've already got a rivalry with Raptor, and I have to contain myself because he's small. I don't have to hold back with you.
I feel like you do. if things really got hairy.
Yeah, one of us has a bow and one of us has a sword. I can close the gap a lot faster than you can.
I don't think so. I need the gap. I don't even need to close the gap.
You are
Well,
aware
they're
that you're on
trying
the
to
other
remember
side
how
of
to
this
build a
lean-to
shelter.
and we're in camp. You're not gonna get a shot off fast enough.
I bet I could.
Good luck beating my armor class.
Raptor's finding a hole and fortifying it for waterproofing.
Roll a survival check.
Why do I get the feeling that this is like some sort of mind melding thing? Anthar and I are going to be locked in some sort of Anakin and Obi-Wan style duel.
All
I have the
right.
high ground.
Does it seem waterproof?
You find a hole in the ground and you fortify it a little bit, adding a little bit of extra moss and vegetation around to make sure it's waterproof. And after looking over your work, you say to yourself, "Seems waterproof."
Yeah, you know what? It seems waterproof, but it seems extraordinarily ghost-proof. Because when the ghosts come through in the fog tonight, they're not looking underground. They're gonna get yo ass. It's not mine. I crawl into my hole.
Okay.
Speaking of ghosts, Raptor, this seems like a good time to tell spooky ghost stories while we chomp down on seagull bits.
I stuff moss into my ears and crawl into my hole.
I lean over towards the ground on Raptor's little hole with my little eye, feeling it. Saying, "Is there any room down there?"
Get me snuggle.
Doesn't seem to be quite enough room for you on Anthar.
Dang it.
All right. It probably would have been smarter to actually dig out a hole and then like focus on waterproofing like whatever we threw over said hole.
That's true.
Like with 100% context, like it's too late now because we have our lean-to that seems waterproof.
Seems waterproof.
But that probably would have been a really smart thing to do. We better file that away for later.
Right. Put that mental note. There we go.
Yeah, like put a pin in that.
Right.
Let's throw some seabirds.
Right.
Are there trees nearby?
There are. Although most of them seem to be pretty dead and kind of almost deformed and sickly.
Nice. Very
Does that
fitting.
hurt your feelings, elf boy?
Okay. Listen up, little.
Listen here, you little shit.
I am just as tall, if not taller than you.
This reminds me of
Tristan, what's wrong? Are you okay? You seem to push everyone away. You need to
Oh,
talk.
if only you knew.
You need to talk, Tristan. It's okay.
Outside the curtain again, you have no idea. Boys got some Anthor and Tristan probably have more in common than they do not. Legitimately, the reason for all of this headbutting is probably because they're looking at each other and they're being like, "You are exactly like me,
Right.
and I need to out alpha your edginess."
This is going to end in a big hug.
Legitimately, it's not even going to be a HUD. It's just going to be one of those manly nods at each other, and Utramir's going to be like, "They basically just hugged."
It's right. It's the Robert Redford gif, though.
Or like the two Chad heads just looking at each other and one of them just going, yes.
Right. Yes.
Well, team, it's a good thing that you all let the sheriff know that we were out here so they can come and assist tomorrow morning.
What now?
When we were in town, you let the sheriff know that we were out here, right?
No, you were supposed to do that. We went and got the blessing.
Go fuck yourself, Tristan. I was not supposed to do that.
No.
Oh my god, Tristan, are you telling me that there is no additional support coming? And we,
Raptor.
the four of us, are going to walk into the haunted fucking mansion alone tomorrow morning.
Raptor, are you telling me that you
Tristan?
didn't go to the sheriff?
Wait.
Well, I went to go get supplies, then got my weapon sanctified so we could actually fight these things in the big spooky mansion. What were you doing?
Tristan,
You
don't
were.
worry.
No.
No. Listen.
Away.
Listen,
What were you
Raptor will save
doing?
the day. Raptor will save the day so long as you shut the fuck up and write a letter to the sheriff explaining the situation.
Well, you
I'll
apparently
send
know how to
Robin.
write. Why don't you do it?
I will send Robin to the sheriff with the letter, but someone needs to write the fucking letter.
You write the letter. You apparently know how to write now.
Nobody can read my writing. It's too small.
I'm apparently just gonna go fuck myself now since I'm so useless to group. I go over and I cook my seabird.
I don't even
Alright,
think
well-
you can read your own writing.
I can't.
Well, I
I
can't
have
read.
no idea if I spell things right.
Tristan
I need someone. Look,
Tristan very
if
reluctantly.
if somebody
Like,
who isn't
after
absorbed in
he-
their own pride can write a letter,
That's actually not my
Then-
then.
then we can get some additional support in the morning. Does that sound good to anybody? Uchimir, you're reasonable. Can you write a letter to the sheriff and explain the situation? I will
Oh,
ship it. I need someone to write it.
if only I had a pen or a quill, I
Tristan
should
will
say.
very reluctantly, after he finishes cooking the seabird, pull out a piece of paper and a quill and just quickly start scrawling, very quietly, just by the firelight, just kind of writing out something.
Okay.
Perfect.
What do you write out?
Fuck Raptor. No, just kidding. Not like he could read it anyway.
Raptor stole that crossbow.
It's all Raptor's fault.
The sheriff will know what this
basically
means.
just going to pen to Sheriff Hemlock. It's Sheriff Hemlock. We're at Foxglove Manor.
Mhm.
Currently holding out until morning to begin investigating. Would appreciate reinforcements as soon as possible. We'll be moving. He's gonna get. We're not gonna be moving at first light. I think noon would probably be best. So we're gonna move out at noon. Blah 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 blah. Any assistance you can send our way would be greatly appreciated. We're gonna move it. Basically we're gonna move at this. So send it by this, this, and this. We'll be sending this. Send your response with this bird, and then he's gonna sign it for sign it himself. As Tristan, and then postscript. And then just mention I heard a ruckus going out in town. Is everything okay?
Tristan, make sure to mention that you fucked up, and that's why he's getting this message 8 hours before we embark on this siege in the middle of the fucking night.
Yes.
Make sure they
yes.
include that.
I will make a note of it right now. I'm sorry, Raptor. P.S. I'm sorry that I'm doing this so late. Raptor was supposed to take care of this before we left.
Okay.
You can't read, so eat a dick. He hands it over to Robin.
I look over it and cannot read it, but not approvingly. Looks good. You
I
did,
hope so.
Tristan. Well done.
I hope so. Years of, calligraphy lessons. Very mean instructor. Hit my knuckles whenever I messed up.
You want to talk about it more? Maybe that would help you not be such a dick all the time.
I have many issues up here, Raptor.
Yeah, I've
My
noticed.
My childhood calligraphy instructor occasionally rapping my knuckles for misdrawing a script is not one of them. It is such a mundane issue that it is almost not even worth mentioning. It was entirely rhetorical. It is not actually something that is bothering me. Do you want to build a
That's
seagull, by the way?
unfortunate, 'cause, yeah, I'll have a body seagull.
All right.
That's
Tristan will like break the seagull in half and leave him some.
All right. So 3 of you take a 1 ration off of your inventory because there's only enough seagull for about 2 people.
Didn't we have 2?
You had 2,
Oh.
but they're kind of small seagulls. So there's only about enough meat for 2 people. So 3 of you. Oh no, 2 of you take a single ration off of your inventory.
I haven't
Whoever wants to do
removed
that.
a ration
God, I'm
since
horrible about
my
keeping up my
initial
inventory.
playthrough. So I just moved it from 2 weeks rations to 5 days, and I think that about checks out.
Okay. Yeah. So I'd probably change that to ration. 14 days down to 13 days now. So you have 13 days worth of rations. I'll assume that you guys restocked on 2 weeks worth of rations
Sure.
before you left.
Cool.
All right. Well, I think that is where we're going to end tonight. But thank you so much to everyone watching now and later. And till next time.
Thank you all for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching, guys.
Good one, y'all. See you around.